together at Football Park. The Bulldogs versus the Warriors. Richard Cousins back in ruck for the Bulldogs today. Up he goes in competition with Libis. The ball comes free. Flintoff grabs the ball. Handballs out wide to the running player in Trigg. Trigg gathers the ball in and goes forward with a long kick to the forward pocket, but dropping back there is Steve Jacquier for the Woodville side, and he elects to play on centre field. He goes. Ron Fuller marks. Nowhere to go. Grandstand side goes Ron Fuller. Ball dropped there by Jolly. Now Gurdon with the ball for the Bulldogs. Flicks it out to Bubner. Bubner across the top. They're mucking around a little bit, Central District. On the left foot they go forward. And Peter Krieg's marked. He'll play on, wasting no time. Heads towards the goal square. Underneath that one's Robert Fraser. He's marked. Play on. First goal's up for the Bulldogs.
No, sorry, David. The free kick's been paid to the Woodville defender. Fraser not happy, but he definitely got in the back of his opponent there. So the free kick will be taken by Michael Wilson. A couple of milestones today. Stephen Trigg playing his 100th game along with Bunga Hearn. And it's a credit to Stephen Trigg. He had a nasty injury early in the year when he broke his jaw against a match against West Torrens. There's the kick. It's not a good one out the direction of Hull. He can't gather it. Now it's taken well by Gurdon. Swings around on the left boot. It's a long wobbly kick to the square. There's a big mark over the top. Oh, great mark. Big Mandermaker. Rudy Mandermaker playing his first league game in South Australia. Gee, and he is a big boy. He's certainly no doubt about that. And that was a fine mark. He came right over the top. This is the first time we've had an opportunity to see Mandermaker. He kicked 15 goals, 5 in the reserves for Central last week against South Adelaide. And has a very good opportunity to post his first. Only metres out, and he banged that right through the middle. That's a very, very good start for Central. They move on to 1 goal, opening their account, and Woodville yet to score.
Yes, Kim, you called it correctly. Our first chance to have a look at this giant, Rudy Mandermaker. 15 goals, 5 in the reserves for the Bulldogs last week. Recruited from Hawthorn, and they've put some big raps on him out in Bulldog territory. And with a mark like that, you can see why. High above the pack he flew, and a straight kick for goal.
And David, it was reported that Alan Jeans did say this lad had a big future. If he could control his weight, you can see he does carry a little bit of weight, and that was a concern to the Central Football Club.
Well, Cowboy Neal, of course, carried a bit of weight during his career. Didn't affect him at all.
Certainly did. Back in the centre, Max Parker opposed to Cousins. Should be an interesting duel. These sides have had some very good clashes in recent years. In fact, it was Riley that went for the ruck on that occasion. Ball comes over the top. Play a little bit scrambly. And a free kick has been awarded to the Bulldogs captain in Rene Van Dommel. Kicks out wide and looking for Lee. Found that player. Rather indirect football, but they still have possession. Once again, it's a short pass. This time it's found Trigg. Only gained about 10 yards from those 2 kicks. And another short pass over to Robert Fraser. And Fraser was a good player last week out of the forward pocket. He didn't get many goals, but he had about 17 kicks. And, gee, there's the 4th short pass, and this time it's come unstuck. Finessing a little bit, the Bulldogs. And that's good defensive work by Woodville.
Well, Kim, I doubt that I could call that finessing. I'd say more mucking around. 5 possessions and only advanced them 25 metres. Cowboy Neal would be asking his players to play more direct. O'Neill, who played a great game, won that tap. When I say he played a great game, that was last week. Flintoff with the free, goes forward. On the lead is big Mandermaker, and gee, they'll have to control him, Kim, if he's not going to kick a bundle of goals. He looks dangerous already.
Yes, and he's got a little bit of toe for a big fella, David. He led well then, and he's already taken 1 big mark only minutes ago, and this time he's managed to get possession through a quick lead. Coming up for kick number 2, about 45 metres out. It's a very low trajectory drop punt, and unfortunately it's offline, and it was also touched. So that's a point, and that takes the Bulldogs on to 1 goal, 7 points. Woodville still yet to open their account.
Mandermaker showing his versatility. 1 big mark and 1 lead. 1 goal, 1 for the big full forward. As the Warriors come back into play, John Martin's there, number 32. But the mark on that occasion has been taken by Andrew Rogers. Rogers elects to play on. Handballs over the top. Out in the direction of Michael Wilson. Playing on, mucking around again, the Warriors. Back it comes to Wilson. His handball is long. John Martin has the ball centre wing. He'll go forward for the Warriors. His kick is not a good one, however, and Richard Cousins is able to punch the ball towards the boundary line. Ralph Sewer's running through. He's collected a Central District opponent. Now McDonald on to Bowman. Bowman handballs off to Templeton. Templeton centres it, and there's Kevin Harris, the bogeyman at full forward. He couldn't possibly miss this, Kevin Harris. The Warriors vice-captain. Been a great player in his 2 seasons with the Warriors. From point-blank range, lines up the goals. That's their first, the Warriors. They trail the Bulldogs by a point.
Yes, and that was good play. It was well set up by Bowman with an educated handball. And we see the ball, it was passed back to Harris, and he made no mistake from 15 metres out. And we see Kevin Harris has let his hair grow a little bit longer again. Of course, only weeks ago he had the crew cut, or should I say a month ago, and didn't look unlike Mark Jackson.
5.5 minutes into the first term at Football Park. Conditions ideal for football. A good crowd building up in this first game of the double header. Umpire Graham Hilton will bounce the ball to set play back in motion. Max Parker is up. Richard Cousins wins that tap. Now back to Parker. He's handballed out to McDonald, who looks to be roving today. His kick goes forward. It could bounce in the goal square. Can it go through? No, it doesn't. It's offline for 1 point.
I think there'll certainly be a close contest on our hands here today. They've had some tremendous clashes in the past, and I think Woodville are going to be a very hungry side. Kick from Botka found Stephen Schwert, younger brother of Patrick Schwert, who of course has been sidelined with that knee reconstruction. He in turn finds Richard Cousins. Cousins back in the ruck today. It's a long kick, and that's more direct play towards the centre of the ground. Fraser couldn't take it, a long way down from his forward pocket. In fact, he's in fringe, and he's given the free to young Rogers. Rogers coming up, only played a handful of games. In fact, it's his 6th league game. Ball was kicked out wide. Trevor Rowe leading in the chase. Unfortunately, the boundary line beats him, and we'll have a throw in on the outer side.
That was Michael Wilson's kick on the left foot that really did no advantage to the Warriors. They need to go direct. There's a slight breeze blowing at Football Park, favouring the Warriors. Max Parker and Richard Cousins. Through comes Flintoff. He's a courageous player. Onto the right foot he goes, but no one home for the Bulldogs. As running back is Alex Lunn. Lunn, of course, playing centre wing today, goes towards the centre. Up goes Girdham. He dropped the chest mark. And in fact, he's given away a free kick there to Randall Jolly. Bit ticky touchwood for mine. The umpire, of course, is close to the action. Randall Jolly goes grandstand side. Up goes Schwert. He punches the ball away from player in John Martin. Now it's Ralph Sewer with David Buckley. Sewer's in the back of Buckley, and the umpire has seen it. David Buckley, of course, played a great second half last week to help the Bulldogs get back into the game against South Adelaide. As Randall Jolly punches the ball away from Gurdon, and the ball is out of bounds.
Yes, Buckley did have a big influence in the second half of last week's game, and another player that had a big influence was Stephen Connolly when he came onto the ground, but obviously his influence wasn't good enough because he's on the bench again. Ball comes to the back of the pack. Colin McDonald not happy with that kick. It went straight up in the air and over the boundary line out on the full.
I think he knew Kim it was out of bounds as he kicked it. He wouldn't have been happy.
Certainly not. Stephen Schwert, the recipient of the free kick. Movement up forward. Hull's provided the lead. Schwert comes in for his second kick. It's a long one. Hull front possession. Well spoiled by Rogers. Taken by Stephen Trigg. Thought about the handball. Now has to use it. Hull in there. Plenty of Woodville players. A lot of pressure. Bubner. Ball comes out direction of Hull again. Martin's on him. Man overboard. He threw that one up in the air. Down in the direction of Rowe again. He broke the tackle. Here's a chance for something constructive to happen. No, it's not. There's great pressure by Woodville. Scott Lee now smothered again. Well done, Templeton. High handball. Gee, there's plenty of pressure there. Buckley got an uneducated tackle and will receive the free kick.
Yes, a crude tackle from Ralph Sewer on that occasion. He'd attacked 3 or 4 Bulldog players. He did well to keep the ball within the area, but in the finish, the infringement went to Buckley. Buckley goes short. Up is Flintoff. In fact, it's not Flintoff, it's Van Dommel. He goes on the left foot, looking forward. Underneath that one is Stephen Trigg. Played a great second half last week, Trigg also. Kick number 3 coming up for him. He elects to go short. Gee, they're playing short a fair bit, the Bulldogs. That time it's come off again. Come unstuck, I mean to say, but an infringement's taken place. In fact, Mark Hull appears to be looking for the ball. Mark Hull would only be 40 metres out. Kicking into a very slight breeze. Hull is playing centre half forward today with Craig Brady being suspended for 3 matches for an incident arising from last week's game. Kick number 1 for Hull. Opportunity to score the Bulldogs' second goal. Kick's on its way. Looks good off the boot. That's a good goal to Mark Hull. That's the Bulldogs' second. They race to 2 goals, 1-13, leading Woodville 1 goal, 7 points.
Yes, that was a very good kick by Mark Hull, and he'll be very keen to seize the opportunity he's been given through the misfortunes of Craig Braddy being suspended for 3 games. Trigg had the option to kick long to Mandamaker. He chose to go for a short pass. That came unstuck, but Hull was infringed, and he made no mistake from about 40 metres out.
Ball back in play. Max Parker. Up goes Cousins. Neither gets a distinctive tap. Through goes Krieg onto the left foot, but it's a high kick, not a long one. Hull's there. It's punched away by Randall Jolly. It goes to centre where Cousins picked the ball up. He has an airy. Ralph Seward. Bit of hard work today for Ralphie. Ron Fuller drives through centre half forward, lines up the goals. Will it bounce through? In fact, it has. Great goal on Fuller. That's his second kick. Goal number 1 for him, and that's Woodville's second goal. Well, he did it very well. Ralph Seward did the hard tackling on Richard Cousins. The ball went clear to Fuller. He raced through centre half forward and seeing the opening, attacked the goals, and it chipped right through the middle for his first, and that puts Woodville dead level with Central Districts on 13 points apiece.
Yes, he's got very good skills, Ron Fuller. His disposal was immaculate, and in fact I'd say he would rate in the top 10 in South Australia as far as foot disposal goes. Max Parker opposed to Cousins. Very high bounce. Cousins get his hand to the ball first, taken by Harris. Long kick out wide down to the forward pocket area. Buckley can't take that. Haylock in there. Was good player last week, Haylock, against the Eagles. Taken by Stephen Schwert. Very slick handball. Krieg tapped it out well. The direction of Gurdam. Now taken by Buckley again. He's run out, backed up well from the back pocket. Jolly in there. Jackua, oh, he has a fumble. He missed that one. He's been well backed up by Jolly. Jolly goes around the boundary line looking for John Martin. He can't control it. Scott Lee comes through. There's no mucking around with this player. Back to Jackua for a second chance. Sewer onto Parker. He had a fumble. Out towards Lunn. Warriors struggling to set something up here, and Lunn's got the run of the ball. Now they should be able to do something. He gets boot to ball, or ball to boot, and it's been taken by Colin McDonald.
McDonald at right half forward. Gee, they're mucking around the Warriors. They were lucky to get out of that with many ball errors. McDonald goes forward with kick number 4. Pushed off, that was Templeton. In fact, it was Stephen Nichols pushed off the ball by Botka, and the ball is out of play in the forward pocket. We're 12 and a half minutes into this first term, and scores are dead level.
Yes, Stephen Nichols suffered a little bit of inaccuracy last week against the Eagles, kicking something like 5 points. There's been a free kick awarded, and that'll go the way of Stephen Schwert. Very promising player, Schwert. Bubner's provided a lead. Steady goes short. In fact, he's found Bubner. I think he was looking for Flintoff. The ball carried, though. Now the short pass is on to Krieg. Sewer from behind did well to spoil that. Harris, quick handball over to Fuller. Let's see what he can do. He always finds his mark, Fuller, and this time it's Parker. Parker with a long kick. He's looking for Nichols. Botka from behind. Plenty of pressure by Mark Botka. He did it well. Oh, got out of that superbly. Now over to Bunga Hearn playing his 100th game. Always a reliable defender is Hearn, and over to another player playing his 100th game in Stephen Trigg. Trigg, long high kick. Unfortunately not a good one, and the mark has been taken by Lynch.
I think you'll find it's Michael Wilson, Kim. Wilson, of course, playing in the back pocket today. Robert Fraser, well down from his forward pocket, has allowed Wilson to come out and collect kick number 3. He goes towards the centre. Underneath that one's Andrew Taylor. In fact, he's taken a strong mark, Taylor. Former Footscray and Collingwood player. Elects to play on very quickly, but it's smothered by Flintoff. Very well. On goes Krieg. Goes forward on the left foot. Underneath that one, Scott Lee, but coming out is the big fella in Livis. Livis goes backwards, concedes ground to Jacquier. On the left foot, he goes under pressure. Now with Kevin Harris. He goes grandstand side. Cross ground. Could it come unstuck? No, it doesn't. Good play, the Warriors. Bounding through there as Randall Jolly is on the right foot. Looks in forward for Nichols, but chipping in to mark that as Richard Cousins in defence for the Bulldogs.
Yes, did it well, Cousins. Read that superbly. Now the pass out to Gurdam, a long way down from his half-forward flank. Thought about playing on, but Jolly policed the mark very well. Now gets a kick out in the direction of Lee, over the back of the pack. No, Kevin Harris has infringed, and the free kick will be taken by Rene Van Dommel. Van Dommel, the Bulldogs captain.
Centre half forward he goes, looking in the direction of Mark Hull. There's a bit of a pushing and shoving going on there, but the umpire calls play on. Stephen Trigg comes through. He trips over. Max Parker collects the ball. Ron Fuller off toes, back to Krieg. Tries for the clever handball, but there he is, Mr. Magic. Cool as you like, under pressure, Flintoff. Out to Buckley. Buckley goes to centre half forward, and there's the big fella, Rudy Mandamaker. Dream debut for Mandamaker. Ball's gone forward 3 times. He's gathered the ball in on each occasion and now lines up for goal number 2. They tell me it's a reliable kick. The ball's high, it's long. Is it going towards goals? No, it's punched through, and 1 point will be the result.
Rather amazing that Rudy Mandamaker wasn't given the opportunity to play league football a little earlier. The Bulldogs have had their problems up forward, and I would have thought he was a player that could have been experimented with a lot earlier. Kick comes out wide, direction of Lynch. First there will be Rogers, now handballs over the top looking for Wilson, should I say, not Lynch. And the ball goes out of bounds. We've had 15 and a half minutes of this first quarter, and all the action coming to you on 7's Big League.
Out a side throw in, Livis against O'Neill. Livis won that one for the Warriors. Down to Ron Fuller. He paddles the ball towards Harris. Now it's Lunn. He's tackled very heavily by Stephen Trigg. That was a good tackle. In fact, it dispossessed him and the ball went out of play. 1 point the lead to the Bulldogs midway through this first term. Back with Ron Fuller. He gets a wild handball out in the direction of Sewer. Sewer fumbles it. Coming through there is Kevin Harris, the bulldozer. Goes forward to Andrew Taylor. He gets hands to ball but can't mark. Now it's back with Hannum. He tries to get a handball out. Now finally does in the direction of Schwert. Schwert, however, is put under pressure by John Martin, who paddles the ball in front of him. Good work, John Martin. Keep the ball in front of you. Better work, Patrick Schwert. In fact, no, John Martin has received a free kick. The umpire said he was held when not in possession.
Yes, good effort by both players there. John Martin a little bit lucky to receive that free kick, but nonetheless the kick goes long looking for Parker. It's going to fall short, and Girdham takes that front position. Well done, Roger Girdham. Plays on straight away over to Hannum. He's in a little bit of trouble as he was put under pressure by Taylor. Now the ball comes out wide. McDonald coming through, grab without possession, and now he'll receive a free kick. In fact, holding the ball, Stephen Trigg out wide and has found Fraser. Gee, covers a lot of ground for a forward pocket player. Right down on the centre wing. It's a long kick. He's found Mandamaker, one out from behind. Oh, big mark. Great stuff, Rudy Mandamaker. Gee, certainly looks the goods, David. That's his 4th mark.
He reminds me a bit of Terry Moore, Kim. Same style. Perhaps Terry Moore slimmed down when he went to the VFL. Mandamaker, kick number 4, has 1 goal, 2 from 3 kicks already. Yes, it was certainly a good mark. Lines up for goal number 2. Goal umpire says that's through. 2 goals to Rudy Mandamaker. Good start to the Bulldogs. They lead the Warriors by 7 points.
Yes, well, he had the sit on his opponent, and he did it well. He managed to back and read that superbly, in fact, and that was a fine mark by the big central full forward. And gee, he looks very dangerous up there, and I think Woodville are going to have to keep an eye out on this fella.
That is for sure. 2 goals, 2, and we're only 18 and a half minutes into the first term. Umpire Graham Hilton will set play back in motion again. Max Parker and Cousins. Parker got that tap. It went to McDonald. He tapped it over to Fuller, and he goes towards centre half forward. Andrew Taylor's there. He's up, and he's 1 grab, 2 grab. He's marked it. Play on, he says. They're mucking around a little bit, the Warriors. Haylock. Forward it goes. Up is Templeton. He can't mark. Harris is there. Now he's got the ball in front of him. Off the ground, Harris. Good goal, the Warriors. That's their 3rd, and they trail the Bulldogs by 1 point.
Well, Harris did that very well. He was at the bottom of the pack where a rover or ruck rover should be. In fact, it was Nichols that couldn't take the mark. He got his hands to it, but he was well spoiled by Botka. But Harris read that superbly, and quickness of mind there with his 5th kick. He knew he didn't have time to grab, and he socked that through, and that was great play by the Woodville vice-captain.
2 goals to Kevin Harris. Good effort from the ruck rover. Colin McDonald, of course, is roving today for the Warriors. Up goes Cousins, down to Flintoff. Comes out wide in the direction of Fraser. He's on fire in this first quarter. On he goes on the left foot, looking for Mandamaker yet again. Chipping out in front of him was Robert Lynch. He's paddled the ball out of play, has he or hasn't he? Yes, he has, and the boundary umpire will throw it in.
Well, in fact, he stopped then, David. He didn't play to the whistle. The boundary umpire was miles behind, and Lynch went over the line, then stopped, then realised the whistle hadn't gone and tried to play on again, but it was too late then. A golden lesson for youngsters, always play to the whistle. Players dive on top, and we'll have a bounce only 15 metres out. We've had 20 minutes of this first quarter, and it's been nip and tuck all the way.
Number 22 on your screen is Michael O'Neill. Played a great game last week against the Panthers. Hasn't been in the action today as Jackie goes across goals. Oh, he could be dangerous. Trigg has the ball on his left foot. He goes, no, he handballs off to Girdham. Girdham's under pressure. Through comes Krieg. Big O'Neill grabs the ball. In fact, he may have dropped it. That's the way the umpire saw it. Ron Fuller plays on. Grandstand side he comes. It's a player down in the back lines. Looks like Steve Jackie. He chopped a nasty knock. Play on they go. They're mucking around, crisscrossing the oval, the Warriors. Jolly handballs off to Wilson. Wilson on the left-hand handball. Only gets it as far as Central's Richard Cousins. He goes forward, and look who's under there is Peter Krieg. He plays on Krieg. On the left foot he goes. Goalward. It'll be offline and through for 1 point.
Peter Krieg's been a fine player of recent weeks, and I can't help but think after watching Krieg about 3 or 4 occasions this year, his desperation and the intensity he plays with have definitely lifted from past years. Ball comes to ground. Through hard was Cousins. Well done, Wilson. Got out a long handball to McDonald. Now this looks more promising. The Warriors go long. That's a lot better play. McDonald's kick was a superb one. That's a great mark, Nichols. Oh, superb mark. Gee, he had to fly early and he just hovered there, and he's got a great pair of hands and normally a very accurate kick, David.
Yes, he is, although after a mark like that, you deserve a goal no matter what your kicking action's like. He's a left footer, of course, and that'll come in with the breeze. No worries for him on that occasion. That's right through the middle for Nichols. Stephen Nichols first, and the Warriors for the first time in this match have hit the lead.
Well, that's a classic example of what direct play can do for a side. McDonald, he thought about a short pass, then decided to kick long, and it was a superb kick, carried about 55 metres, and he found his target in Stephen Nichols, and he certainly didn't let him down.
Mark Botka, number 38 there, picking up Stephen Nichols. That'll be an interesting duel today. Terry Livis is in the ruck now for the Warriors. Up he goes, the big fella, and so's Michael O'Neill for the Warriors. Livis won that one now with Fuller on the left foot towards Andrew Taylor. The sun's in his eyes, he couldn't see it. Kevin Taylor has the ball in front of him, and he'll go direct again. Forward they go, the Warriors. Nichols is on the lead, he's found it. Great chest mark, Nichols. Opportunity now to score his second goal in 2 minutes for the Warriors. Distance won't be a problem. He decides now to go short. There's Taylor. Oh, loose play by the Bulldogs defence. Andrew Taylor's 25 metres out, almost directly in front. 4 points to lead to the Warriors at this stage. If he kicks it, they'll go to 10 points. There he has, they're 10 points in front. We're only 23 minutes into this first term at Football Park.
Well, that was tremendous football. First it was Kevin Harris who speared out a pass that found Nichols. It was a beautiful pass. He never had to alter stride at all. Then Nichols, who was tucked away on an acute angle, and he waited until a lead was provided, and that was provided by Taylor, and he found his mark, and Taylor put that right through the middle, and this is a good start by the Warriors.
Yes, they're kicking with the aid of a slight breeze. Cowboy Neil, they started slowly last week. Are they doing it again? Terry Moore, of course, to the Cowboys' left shoulder. Livis in ruck for the Warriors. He gets that tap down. However, it only goes in the direction of Scott Lee. Out to Bubner. Left-hand handball back to Lee on the left foot. It's a terrible kick. Mark Hull is there. Dives on the ball. Gathers in. Gets the handball out. Gee, this man's played very well, Robert Fraser. Now back to Van Dommel. Short on the leads. Krieg. Up he goes. It's too high for him. Punched away by Jackia. The handball comes out now to O'Neill. Back to Trigg. They're mucking around the Bulldogs. And Robert Bowman grabbed that ball in, number 39 for Woodville, and held it in the area well.
Of course, little Robbie Bowman replacing Daryl Schimmelbusch, who was omitted from the side after a, let's say, indifferent performance last week. Very high kick. Hull has to hold his ground here. This will take courage. Did it well, and that's a fine mark.
Courageous mark, Kim, wasn't it?
Certainly was. Nothing worse than standing underneath a pack like that. Now he goes long, looking for man to make. Oh, he got in the back of Lynch, but Lynch held his ground. He took a fine mark.
Yes, Amanda Maker's had the better of Lynch to date, but Lynch coming back now. Has a bounce. Uncertain where to go now on the left foot. That's a terrible kick. Out wide it goes in the direction of McDonald, but Randall Jolly will mop up. Canvassing the boundary line, Jolly. Now off to Haylock. Haylock's right foot kick goes forward, looking for Ralph Sewer. David Buckley is in charge of that escapade, and he'll repel that attack. He drives forward now. Underneath that one, Scott Lee. He's gathered the mark. Plays on quickly. Good work, but nowhere to go. Hull's there. Up he goes. Is it a mark? No, it's not. Jacquier over the top of the ball. Another pack's developed. It's slipped out clear. Lunn with the handball to Jolly. Jolly with nowhere to go now decides to go on the left foot wide. Back towards centre wing. Rowe comes through there for the Bulldogs. Scott Lee. Ball's punched clear of him. Back with McDonald. Now Jacquier. Gee, there's a lot of players in that area. Kevin Harris on the right foot. He goes direct at the back as Nichols. He's read it better and he's marked. Well, Botka came out. He didn't read it well. Stephen Nichols started, then stopped, dropped back and read the ball much better in the finish. And from 15 metres out, he'll have an opportunity to put the Warriors 16 points clear. Kick number 3 on the left foot he goes. That's right through the middle. 2 goals to Nichols. And the Warriors lead by 17 points.
Yes, well, you called that superbly, David. Botka, well, in fact, the credit should go to Nichols because he ran Botka underneath the ball, then managed to move back in position and completed a great mark. And once again, we see Woodville reaping the benefits of direct football, and that's been the difference so far in the two sides.
Certainly has. Malcolm Blight in tracksuit today. Perhaps he's contemplating running. He'd be happy. There's a big smile. Good on you, Malcolm. 26 minutes into this first term. Livis in ruck. Mick O'Neill got that tap. Goes to Flintoff. He couldn't get his kick away, however. Underneath that one is Girdham. Number 10 now. Bowman, 39. He's tackled, not in possession. And the umpire has seen it. Young Robbie Bowman will take the free kick from centre field.
Well, look, David, before Woodville get any further in front, I must confess I tipped Woodville, and I think I would have been one of the few media representatives around Adelaide that would have.
Don't write the Bulldogs off yet. They were a lot further behind against South Adelaide last week, and there's a long way to go. Ball's out of play, half forward flank right for the Warriors. Mick O'Neill and Terry Livis for the Warriors. Up goes Bubner from behind. It comes to Krieg. He's tackled crudely. Play on, says the umpire. Now Patrick Schwert. Good handball. Schwert out to Hannum. The Bulldogs are running, but a great tackle by Kevin Harris. Yet again, the umpire's called play on. Gee, they've let it flow. Coming through there was Lunn. He's tackled. Play on again. Now back to Haylock. They're letting it play well. Stephen Nichols on the lead. He gathers the ball in. Can he line up on his left foot? No. Off to Harris it goes, but it's over his head. Harris back to Lunn. Lunn, no one within 50 yards of him. Lines up the goals. Bunga Hearn's there, but will it bounce through? Oh, it's hit the post. Well, bad luck, Lunn. 1 point the result for Woodville. 6 goals, 2, 38. Leading the Bulldogs 3 goals, 3, 21.
Well, everything was in favour for Alex Lunn then. The goal was unprotected. Everything, of course, except for the bounce, which didn't go the direction he wanted. Now we've got Mark Botka to kick out. Oh, Hearn was short and he kicked it straight over his head. I would have used that player. He's all by himself. He had a paddock. Rowe gathered it well off hands. O'Neill tried a handball a la Russell Ebert. On to Krieg, taken well by Flintoff. Geez, a cool character, this fella. Out to Hull, front position. Hull couldn't take the mark, managed to tap it on in the direction of Wilson. Wilson out to Jolly. He had a touch of the fumbles. That was a bad error.
Kicking in danger is the call, Kim.
Lucky to get out of that one, David. Wilson to take the free kick. Decides to go long to centre half forward. Taylor there, front position was Buckley, couldn't complete the mark. Martin did it well, picked that one up like a rover. Out the direction of Buckley. Schwert it was, first to the ball, but Templeton did it better. Now with a fine handball, that was well executed back to his opponent and Girdham easily. Now spears a low pass. McDonald front position over the head of that player. Nichols there, it's 1 against 3 off the deck, did it well. Harris, oh, well done Buckley. The Dogs are going to get out of this one through Hannum. Can't get boot to ball, but it goes over the boundary line, and that's a good escape for the Bulldogs.
Well, you called it very well, Kim. Harris was alone in the goal square almost. The kick went forward off the ground, but David Buckley just got a hand to it to keep the ball clear of the Woodville attack. Lining up the goals is Nichols on the left foot, but it's offline for 1 point.
4 minutes into time on, the 29-minute mark of this first quarter. Woodville 6-2 have had a good quarter against the Dogs. They're on 3-3-21. Let's hope for the Warriors' sake that they can go on with their form they showed in this first quarter. Botka kicked out very wide, looking for O'Neill, couldn't take the mark. The bottom of the pack there was Rowe. He got that out well to Flintoff, and he's got time to steady. In fact, he did it terribly. That was an awful kick. It's found its mark in Hull. Hearn. Back to Craig, to Hull. The Dogs have got out of this one again. They did that well. Now it's a long kick. He's looking for man to maker. He's from behind. He's got the height advantage. Second grab. Has it been paid? Yes, it has. Oh, the Woodville supporters aren't happy. They thought Lynch had a hand on it, David. How did you see it?
No, Big Cousins was the player, and I thought he got the hand to it. One hand went up. He used his body very well. Got a hand to the ball. In fact, he followed it down, and the second grab was his. So Richard Cousins, an opportunity to score his first goal with kick number 4. Lines him up, and that's true. Good mark, good goal, Richard Cousins, and they need him firing.
Yes, he did that well. I called that incorrectly. I thought it was man to maker from behind. But now they've got this 2-pronged forward attack, or in fact it's a 3-pronged attack when you also throw Robbie Fraser in there, but he seems to roam everywhere. He's got an open licence in that forward area, and he's done it well.
30.5 minutes in this first term, a long quarter at Football Park. Livis in ruck for the Warriors. Mick O'Neill gets the tap for the Bulldogs. Kevin Harris is there. Handballs over the top to the running player in Michael Templeton. He's got an opportunity to line up the goals. The kick's a good one. It's long, it's high, wide and handsome. Right through the middle, Templeton. Kick number 2 for him. That's his first goal, and the Warriors are on the attack.
Well, gee, he didn't muck around Templeton. He looked confident from the moment he grabbed the ball, David. He had no doubt in his mind that he wasn't going to kick that goal. He knew for sure he was, and he just whacked that right through the middle, and that was tremendous play by Templeton, and he's a very handy player up forward for the Warriors.
7 goals, 3 the Warriors. Bulldogs 4 goals, 3. They're doing it very well. 31.5 minutes now gone in this first term. Umpire Ross Campbell will bounce at centre field. Livis in ruck, up he goes. He gets the tap on that occasion. Down it goes in the direction of Central's Krieg. Robbie Bowman for the Warriors. Handballs the ball clear of the pack. Trevor Rowe will lead in the race. In fact, he gets a hand on that ball and punches it wide. Kevin Harris gathers it in, but is tackled strongly. Rene Van Dommel was tackled by Gary Haylock. In fact, he pushed him in the back. Rene Van Dommel looks to play on, but the siren's gone to end the first term at Football Park. Woodville 7 goals, 3-45. Lead the Bulldogs 4 goals, 3-27. And the actions come to you on 7's big lead.
Advantage to the Warriors, and you think that Cowboy Neal didn't give his players a blast at quarter time. You could hear it from the grandstand. Cousins in there. Flintoff receives a free kick. He's done it well. He's a class player. Play on the call. He's done that well too, but it's a wobbly kick. Nolan on in place of Fraser, which I find a strange move because Fraser played well in the first quarter. Krieg in there. He's a far more desperate player this year than I've seen in previous years, and I'm not detracting from his past performances. He's always been a great player, but geez, approaching the ball's a lot harder this year, David.
Yes, he certainly found an extra dimension to his aggression. That's certainly helping his game. Through comes Van Dommel. Kick goes high. Underneath that one, Scott Lee takes a strong chest mark. Lee plays on now. As Nolan. Short is Nolan. Over the top to Krieg, and in the pockets Krieg on his left foot. Well, he could well kick this from here. The Bulldog forwards are covered. This will be kick number 5 for Krieg. If he goes back, he could easily kick it. He's on his left foot with the breeze blowing the ball in. In fact, that's the way he goes. To the edge of the goal square. Up with a big mark was Bubner. Oh, he hasn't paid it, the umpire, as the ball now goes through from Bubner. Oh, what about a comedy of errors? You've seen it all when you've seen that one.
Yes, well, I'm right behind the umpire 100% there, David. He shouldn't have paid that mark either because there was no mark, but his recovery was far greater than his Woodville opponents, and he managed to get or in fact he had about 3 chances, and the bottom line was that he got the goal. And just have a look at Peter Bubner. He's a superb athlete. Look at the legs on that fella.
Well, I can do without that. Might be a few of our female viewers would agree with you. We're only 1.5 minutes into this second term at Football Park. Warriors lead by 12 points. They led by 18 at quarter time as Cousins gets the tap down to Flintoff. Coming through was Van Dommel. Now back with Bubner. Mr. Magic. Gee, there's 2 of them in the side, Flintoff and Bubner. John Martin gets the handball out now to the running player in Livis. His right foot kick goes forward. Has Haylock on the run, but he's well attended to by Schwert. You need to get on with it. He's got Sewer lurking 3.5 forward line. Sewer's not happy. Back goes Haylock for kick number 4. Drives it long in towards Andrew Taylor. He's pushed off the ball well and truly. No free kick. Flintoff taps the ball towards the boundary line. Wilson's there on the right foot. He lines up the goals. Goes to the goal. Great mark. Oh, Templeton was the player. He flew high over the pack. At Nichols it was, in fact. And he's hurt himself coming down.
Yes, I'll give you a chance to collect your thoughts there, David. In fact, it was Templeton who put the ball in high, and it was Nichols that took the superb mark. And we've had trouble with these two players on several occasions. They're both from Tasmania, and that may have taken a little bit of the wind out of Stephen Nichols. But I can assure if he puts this one through the middle, it'll certainly ease the pain. 3 minutes into this second quarter, the Dogs lead by 2 straight goals. Nichols coming up for kick number 6, and he's popped that right through the middle, and that moves the Warriors on to 8-3, leading Central 5-3.
Well, thanks for your help there, Kim. Great mark it was from Nichols. He flew high over the pack, hovered there, and did he hurt himself when he came down. 3 goals to him, but after a mark like that, you deserve a goal. And Malcolm Blight, I'm sure, would be happy with his form to date. 8-3, the Warriors. The Bulldogs 5-3. It's back to 3 goals clear to the Warriors.
Nichols just moving around in the forward area, trying to loosen up after that heavy fall. And Mark Botka's certainly got his hands full. Did it well last week, kept Davies to 1 goal. Cousins with the tap. Quick kick out by Rogers. Allows Taylor to get possession. Oh, great handball to Haylock. That was a superb feed. It's out in the direction of Nichols again. This time with a long handball back to Sewer. Back to Nichols. Warriors with another chance. The kick's high. Gee, couldn't get a goal from there, surely. In fact, the free kick has been given, and it'll be paid to Bunga
Bunga it is. Commentary in stereo. Out he comes to Scott Lee, grandstand side. Plugging the boundary line go the Bulldogs. Out in front of Nolan runs the ball. He picks it up. Drives forward on the leader's Mandamaker. Can he chip it in? Yes, he can. Good mark, Mandamaker. Playing his first league game for the Bulldogs today, and I think Cowboy Neil couldn't help but be impressed. Kick number 5 as Mark Hull tells him to line up the goals. Inexperience, perhaps. Kick's on its way. It's drifting offline. In fact, it's hit the post. 2-3 from 5 kicks, Rudy Mandamaker. Good performance at full forward from the young fellow.
Yes, well, the full forwards from both sides having an influence on the game. Jacku with the kick out, looking for Parker. Been a quiet player, Parker. Wilson in there. He's been a goer all day. Got the handball back in the direction of McDonald. Has time to clear now. The long handball to Fuller. Fuller around his opponent, got it out to John Martin. Martin's got a chance to run here and set something up for the Warriors. It's a long kick. Nichols from behind, can he get a leap at it? Can't do so, and Botka with a strong mark at the fullback position.
You read that very well, Mark Botka, and you said before he played a great game last week on Rick Davies, but he has his hands full today with Stephen Nichols. Cousins off to Hannum, not a good kick from Hannum, but he's found Stephen Trigg. He cleverly spins around and pushes the ball off to Flintoff. Great skills, Flintoff. He goes forward and he's found his man. Rudy Mandamaker again. It's his 6th mark. Looks very good when they go forward in a direct fashion, the Bulldogs. It gives Mandamaker a chance to lead. It's a big, strong fellow. 6 minutes into this second term at Football Park. The Bulldogs trail by 17 points. Can Mandamaker reduce that? Kick's on its way. It's going to be offline again. And 2-4 from Mandamaker. He'll need to attend to his kicking, I think.
Yes, but all credit there should have gone to Flintoff. He did that superbly, the way he got round 2 opponents. Jacua to Wilson. Wilson out wide to Sewer. Sewer hasn't been able to get into the game much at this stage. Tried to knock that one on, couldn't do so. Connolly gets his first kick since coming onto the ground, and it's a good one at that. He found Krieg. Krieg bolts straight away, puts out a high pass to Girdham from the back, Lynch, and that's a great mark. Lynch plays on quickly, no mucking around. Over to Jacua, who in turn's got Jolly. He's got an absolute paddock. There's no one near him at all. Jolly now with a long kick in the direction of Taylor, and that's a great pass. He's found him. Hannum and Taylor having an interesting duel, neither player having a great effect yet. Kick number 3, and that's found Rogers. Quite impressed with Rogers, he appears to be a real goer. Long kick looking for Bowman over the head of that player, and in fact the ball's beaten all players over the line, and we'll have a throw in 7 minutes into this second quarter.
Mark Botka tapped the ball towards the boundary line. Safety first from the Bulldog defender. Cousins with Parker down to Flintoff. Over his shoulder goes Flintoff on the right foot. And he's found Alex Lunn. No, he hasn't found Alex Lunn. He's dropped it. and Trigg cleverly plays the ball across the line.
Well, Alex Lunn must have had his chesty bond singlet on there because it bounced straight off the chest, and he wouldn't be happy with that.
You must keep your eye on the ball when you're going for those. They're difficult if they hit the pectorals. Cousins in front. Goes down the direction of Bunga. He taps the ball across the line. Stronger defensive work now by the Bulldogs. They let the Warriors get clear in the first term, and I think Cowboy Neal's told them certainly to tighten up.
Your knowledge of the human body never ceases to amaze me, David. Quick kick by Fuller. Down towards Taylor. Hannum pressuring him. Taylor can't get it out. Trying to get a handball. Hearn overran the ball. Now it's tapped out to Krieg. Krieg with thought about a handball. Actually, it was well smothered by Sewer. Now the ball's come back to Rowe. Out to Connolly, and the Dogs can get out of trouble here, and that's a long kick out the direction of Hull. Hull being pressured by Rogers. He's got rid of him, though. He did that superbly. Now he's looking for the pass. It's a long one into Mandamaker. He's got front position. Oh, and he's got a strong pair of hands too. Beautiful play, Rudy Mandamaker. Gee, I am impressed with this player, David. He's taken some big marks from behind, and when he's had front position, he hasn't let his teammates down either.
No, Kim mark number 7 for the big fella. Done everything right up forward. And that's what the Bulldogs need. Every time they've gone into attack quickly, he's been there. Now off to Flintoff. He's not frightened to distribute the ball forward either, Rudy Mandamaker. And Flintoff from 45 metres out with kick number 9 already, and we're only 9 minutes into the second term, has an opportunity of scoring his first goal. Normally a reliable kick, Flintoff. Kicks on its way, but unfortunately that one's drifted to the left side of the post, and that will go through for 1 point.
Yes, you mentioned before about Mandamaker distributing the ball with short passes when he's out of range, and he's certainly shown today that he certainly is a team player. Oh, big leap by Rogers, couldn't take the mark. Recovers well, though, did that superbly to get around Van Dommel. He's had another quiet one today. We saw him taken from the field last week when David Kapler tore him to pieces. Now it's Harris. Out wide to Martin. Oh, Bubner's got to sit on him. Did it well, Bubner. Oh, great stuff, Johnny Martin. He's persisted, and that people that persist come out on top most times, and he has this time. Out wide, Templeton with a chance. He's got front position, very close to the boundary line. Hearn in there. In fact, he's received a free kick. Michael Templeton. Well, he's tucked right away on the boundary line. He's been given a 15-metre advantage as well. He's thinking about he's a left footer. Is he going to do a check side or not? In fact, he's a right footer, and he's gone for a check side kick. But it's offline, and that's a point. 10 minutes into this second quarter, and Woodville move on to 8-4, leading Central 5-6.
1-1 to Michael Templeton. The Warriors advance to 8-4, leading the Bulldogs 5-6-36 as the ball comes back into play from Botka's boot. Up goes Cousins, front position, punched away by Parker. Now Flintoff, kick number 10. He's had a bundle of possessions in this first half. The umpire has picked up a free kick. We're just trying to find out what that's for, but it's going in the direction of John Martin. His kick goes long towards the true centre-half forward. Andrew Taylor's there, so Brett Hannum. Bunga Hearn handballs out to Rene Van Dommel. Off to Peter Krieg. The right foot kick goes forward. Big punch away by Nolan, but running through Steve Jackley, a ball behind his back. Couldn't take it in. Robert Lynch off to Jolly. Van Dommel came through hard. There's some good body work going on there at the moment. Now with Trigg. He's over the top of Randall Jolly. In fact, it's Alex Lunn. The big fella will take a free kick from centre field.
Yes, it's desperation stakes out there. Kick number 4 for Lunn. Out towards Bowman. He's been quiet. He hasn't got the height there to compete in the air. And that's a quick handball out direction of Sewer. Sewer on to Taylor. Taylor's kicked in long. It's 1-on-1. Botka versus Nichols. Oh, Nichols nearly took the mark. Followed it to the ground. Now he's just kind of keeping in front of him. And in fact, he has been awarded a free kick for knocking it out of bounds deliberately. Mark Botka to take the free kick. Connolly provided the lead. That was ignored. Cousins front position. Parker from over the top. Well spoiled. Ball comes down towards Rowe. He's being pressured by Harris. Fuller came through. But the free kick has been given to Trevor Rowe for being held without possession.
Trevor Rowe, as Peter Marker aptly calls him, the perennial tagger. Picking up Kevin Harris today. I think Harris has had the better of that duel to date, but no doubt Rowe, as he did last week, will come back into the game. 31 on your screen is Richard Cousins. Number 1 is Max Parker, the Warrior captain. Cousins gets the tap down to Krieg. He quickly gets the ball onto his right foot. Forward it goes. Hull gathers the ball in, accelerates through centre forward. Now drives long, looking for man to make her again. Has he got it? He's up, the big fella. He's got the front position. Play on, says the umpire. Steve Jacquier relieves the pressure for the Warrior defence. And he's gone out wide and found Colin McDonald.
Well, that was a very courageous and good decision, might I say, by the umpire, because neither player had a decent grab on that, in my opinion. Or a clear grab, should I say. Free kick given to Connolly. No, it's not. It's Stephen Trigg, in fact. Connolly's run out to provide some space. Trigg doesn't want him. Connolly's still by himself. Trigg decides to go the direct way home, and that's straight down the middle. Girdham there, punched away. Krieg goes through, couldn't take the ball with him. Through goes Bubner. Fuller, long kick out in the direction of Trevor Rowe. He'll be first in the chase for the ball. Got to get around a couple of opponents. Did it well. Schwert over to Hannum, or Cousins. Cousins looking for Connolly. He couldn't take it. McDonald back on it, the state half-back flanker. Jacquier, gee, players from both sides working hard. And that's been called a throw, and he's been caught and penalised.
Yes, the throw was certainly there. He tried to get the handball out just a bit too quickly. As big man to make it. Fair way out from goal man to make it. He'd be at least 55 metres. From what we've seen, he may not get the distance. Just lacks a little bit of penetration in his kick, Rudy Mandamaker. From 55 metres out, he'll line up opportunity of scoring his third goal. Kicks on its way, but again it's offline. In fact, the pack flew. Up went Nolan. Robert Lynch, number 8 for Woodville, was there, and he pushes the ball out of play. We're 14 minutes into the second term at Football Park. Woodville 52, lead Centrals 36. 16-point advantage to the Warriors, as yet again the ball's gone out of play.
Yes, at the sake of repeating myself, we've mentioned it several times, but you can't help but be impressed with Mandamaker. He's done everything right, apart from, I suppose, he's kicked a few points, which hasn't helped his cause, but gee, his aerial work's been superb. 14 and a half minutes into the second quarter. Mandamaker to do the ruck work opposed to Libbers. Libbers got his hand on the ball down towards Jacquier. Jacquier will sidestep beautifully then to get around his opponent. Now over to McDonald. They're going to go the long way home, the Warriors. That's across the face of goal out in the direction of Jolly. But he's been beaten by Bubner. Now the Dogs are a chance. The handball goes over the top to Connolly. He's under pressure. Got around two opponents. Did it well. Snapshot on its way. Umpire makes a little bit of ground. Oh, offline 1 point. Would have been a superb goal. Would have been a miraculous goal. And the Dogs move on to 5-7, trailing Woodville 8-4.
Yeah, Stephen Connolly certainly persisted well on that occasion. Almost reaped the benefits. Ralph Sewer hasn't had a good game. Zip-zap Sewer, off he goes, zip-zapping. Plays on, drives long grandstand side, looking for Parker. He gets a hand to the ball. Cousins is with him. Now Haylock tries to tap the ball forward towards Robert Lynch, but number 13, Gary Haylock, has taken the ball out of play. Back now with the big ruckman, Cousins and Parker. Cousins grabs Parker's jumper and pulls him to the ground, and the umpire has seen it. Max Parker with the free kick at centre field. Umpires today, Ross Campbell and Graham Hilton, keeping good control of this game. Kick number 2 for Parker. He hasn't had a great game already. Rose there, gets hands to the ball. In fact, he's been paid the mark. He's picking up Kevin Harris.
Got to hold him for longer than that in my book. Kick comes out long to Hull, 2-on-1. Down to Jolly, tried to get a quick handball out, couldn't do so. Hull's been very productive up centre half forward. Now the handball comes over to Cousins. He tried to hook that one around, but he's hit it on the wrong end of the ball, and it's gone out of bounds on the full. 16 and a half minutes gone in this second quarter. Kick from Lynch over to Jacquier. Jacquier plays on quickly. Over to McDonald. McDonald to Jolly. Jolly ran himself in a little bit of trouble, but was equal to the occasion and got out of it well. Now Ralph Sewer looking to play on quickly. There's no running players. Now he spears out a pass to McDonald. McDonald's drifted in there nicely to take a fine mark.
McDonald has averaged better than 25 possessions a game. He goes forward. Underneath that one's Nichols. Up he goes. He can't take it. Botka's there. Now Haylock gathers the ball in on the right foot. But Hannum is able to gather the ball in and push it across the line. That's the first rushed point for the Warriors. And Mark Botka will drive them back into attack.
Botka with a quick pass out towards Trevor Rowe. Or in fact, it's Buckley. Buckley now kicks long, looking for Bubner. Spore from that player, but he was infringed and has received a free kick. Bubner, long kick, looking for Hull. Hull from behind, couldn't take the mark. Quick handball comes out from Wilson. Wilson over to Parker. Did that well for a big fella, but that's a great tackle, but he managed to get the kick away. And Trevor Rowe stands his ground to take a fine mark.
Yes, he read that very well, Trevor Rowe. Now decides to play on. Brett Hannum, Rock of Gibraltar at centre-half back, goes forward, but he's only found Steve Jacquia, who takes a strong chest mark in front of Peter Krieg. Now plays on, has Robert Lynch. Long way home, the Warriors. Ralph Sewell let that one go. Somebody must have called him out. Maybe it was Richard Cousins. He has the kick. Forward he goes, looking for Trigg. There's Nolan, chips over the top. No one home for the Warriors. There's the big fella man to maker, and 30 yards clear his mark. Now on the left foot. Oh, he's not frightened to play on. And Rene van Dommel at centre-half forward has been tackled crudely by Andrew Rogers. And a 15-metre penalty will apply, which will bring Rene van Dommel right to the point of the 10-metre square. Kick number 8, Rene van Dommel. This will be goal number 1. Couldn't possibly miss from there. He doesn't. That's his first. Central 6th. And they now trail Woodville by 10 points.
Yes, the Bulldogs working their way back into the game, and Mandamaker did it well. It was Nolan, in fact, that got the ball over to Mandamaker. He was left unattended, which is a bad error by the Woodville defence. And gee, he was only 20 metres out in a 45-degree angle, but unselfishly he passed off to Van Dommel, and his skipper didn't let him down from directly in front.
Woodville have only scored 1 goal in this second term. The Bulldogs 2 to tighten the gap. Cousins in ruck. Up with Parker. Ball comes to ground. Through comes Flintoff on the left foot. It goes high. Lung is under that one. He goes up. In fact, he's tapped it down to Jacquio. Did he mean it? Now with Lynch. John Martin. He'll drive long towards centre wing. Underneath that one's Haylock running backwards. He's gathered the ball in. Richard Cousins holds him in just to make sure he doesn't play on. Now he does. On the left foot he goes. Kick number 7 towards Max Parker at centre field. The Warriors are moving it quickly. They're playing on every opportunity. That's not a good kick from Parker, however. Templeton was there. Now Scott Lee. Cross to Bunga Hearn. He's been quiet, Hearn. Now with Nolan. Half-back flank. Left. He's looking to play on. Nowhere to go. Now he goes. No, he doesn't. Looking downfield for Hull. Kick number 4, Nolan. Drives forward underneath that one. Stephen Trigg. He drops the mark. Now Krieg on the left foot. He goes goalwards. His man to make her up to it. He's up. He misses it. Mandamaker punches the ball forward. The genial giant kicks it around his body. The kick's on its way, but it's going to be offline. In fact, it's not even going to make the distance. And Steve Jacquio will bring the Warriors out of defence.
Oh, Jolly couldn't take that. Went straight through his hands. Through comes Hull. Back on there again, Jolly, trying to butter up for that mistake. Umpire Graham Hilton says, sorry, boys, I'll bounce this one. This game livening up at Football Park. We've had 20 minutes of the second quarter. 10 points separate the sides. Woodville in front. Hull does the ruck work, but Libas gets a tap. Straight down to Nolan, kicks on its way. Mandamaker front position, trying to take a one-hand, and he's caught the whack in the scone. Oh, I don't know if that was deliberate or not, but it was definitely there. Plays on. That's a goal. Great goal. Rudy Mandamaker, goal number 3. And gee, the big fella's doing it well. He's a sensation down there.
He certainly is, Kim. 3 goals, 4. Kick number 11. He's done a very good job from full forward. He's given them a focal point to kick to. And yes, the tackle was high. Got clobbered in the right ear hole as he went for the ball. The umpire saw it. Those things happen in football. As coming onto the field is Ian Detman. He's replacing Robbie Bowman. Detman, of course, back in senior company after a spell in the reserves.
And he's a good player, Detman. I don't know why he was down there. Big tap by Parker towards Taylor. Or Hannam equal to the occasion. In fact, he's getting right on top of Taylor. He's beat him today. Or from the 3 deep with Scott Lee. Couldn't take the mark. In fact, he's given a free kick, and that'll be taken by Ian Detman. Been a great player for the Warriors, Ian Detman. Still got plenty of football left in him. There's no doubt about that. Bubner, too tall, too strong in the air. Took that from out of the hands of Johnny Martin. Now chips out a short pass. Mandamaker again. Couldn't take the mark. Lunn with a handball. Now goes out towards Rogers. Cousins takes care of him. Back to Hull. Gee, he has worked hard at centre-half forward today. Back to Krieg. Krieg with a long kick. Looking for Nolan. Couldn't take the mark. Recovers well. Now gets a handball out the direction of Mandamaker. Oh, the big fella did it well. Pirouetted. Now with a handball. Oh, he did that with consummate ease. He's a legend, this bloke. He's got the kick on the way. Oh, couldn't be taken by Scott Lee. And we'll have a throw in.
Well, maybe we could leave Legend Kim until he's played another 1 or 2 games. But certainly a very good player up forward. He's given them a real focal point to kick to at full forward. And he has, in fact, done everything right. Now in the ruck against Parker. Down it comes. The player over the ball is Fuller. He's trying to get the ball out. Stephen Trigg, number 7, was over the top of him, appealing for a free kick. And as you said before, number 4, Ian Detman, good to see him back. He's played over 100 games, adds experience to the Warriors side. Now it's back with Hull, centre half forward. He lines up the goals, but that kick's going to be well wide. In fact, it's out of bounds on the full. And dropping back there is Alex Lund to take the free kick. They've moved Lund onto Mandamaker. Lynch, of course, opened the game there, but with 3 goals for, Mandamaker has been a sensation.
He certainly has, David. Lund plays on with a handball to Jackua. They work that out well, the Warriors. Now it's a short pass looking for Fuller. Found that player. Been a little bit quiet today, Fuller. Pushes out a kick. Oh, nasty bounce to Bunga Hearn. That was a terrible one. Went straight over his head. Rose first to recover. He's got to use the run of Botka. Missed his mark with the handball. Now it comes back to Templeton. Templeton round his body looking for Sewer. Now Sewer's a chance. He's got to get past a few players. Couldn't do it. And Cousins relieves for the Bulldogs.
He had an opportunity now running through off centre wing. There's Lund, the kick's gone forward, but it's touched in the goal square. It's off hands, in fact, and it's through for a behind.
Yes, David, it was Wilson that kicked that. Botka thought about a short pass. Now does so on the other side of the ground towards Hannum. Strong mark, Hannum. Courageous player, Brett Hannum. Certainly stands his ground. Plays on. Taylor's hurt himself. Gee, he must have fallen awkwardly then. He's hurt himself. He's down. He still hasn't got up. Kick goes long. Taken by Fuller. Wilson. Back to Detman, who's run down a long way from his half-back flank. Now he gets a handball over to Sewer. Sewer back towards Fuller. He has a touch of the fumbles. He's in trouble. Detman in there. Tackle without possession. Play on the call. Now Cousins kicks out wide, looking for Nolan. He was a good player last week, Nolan. Started off on the bench today. Oh, he's run himself into trouble. He's been legged and has received the free kick. Plays on quickly over to Trevor Rowe. Plenty of pace, Trevor Rowe. Pushes out a pass. It's Mandamaker again. Oh, great mark. Play on the call. Didn't hold it long enough. And the ball's forced over the line by Alex Lund. 25 minutes into this second quarter. And a great game of football.
There on your screen is Taylor, centre half forward for the Warriors, and he looks hurt. Hasn't recovered. He may have just winded himself when he fell to ground. Lynch out to Haylock. On the left foot goes Haylock. Forward it goes looking for Bowman, but out the back is he's taken a good mark. Kick number 4 for Bunga Hearn. Goes towards centre field. Up goes Connolly, and great mark. Connolly, he flew high and wide and long. Now off to Cousins. Cousins to Schwert. Schwert on the left hand. Over to Bubner. Bubner can line up the goals. This is too easy. In fact, he took it too easy, and it's off line and through for 1 point. We're 25.5 minutes into the second term at Football Park. Woodville 8 goals 6. The Bulldogs 7 goals 8.
Yes, into time on. The Warriors lead by 4 points, but it's been a good quarter for the Dogs. They've managed to get back right into this game. Kick comes out wide to Parker. Parker couldn't take the mark. Play on the call. Connolly in there. Gets a little kick away on the left boot. Now Parker off the ground. Comes out towards Stephen Schwert. Got 1 player to beat. He's got 2 players to beat now. Taken out of it with a hip and shoulder. Johnny Martin forces the ball over the line, and we'll have a throw in on the outer wing.
Yes, Stephen Schwert was the meat and the sandwich then between 2 Woodville players. Didn't affect him. Cousins and Parker. Parker from behind. There's Schwert again. Gets a heavy knock from Fuller. Fuller goes to kick the ball off the ground, but Bunga Hearn stopped him from doing that. Rene Van Dommel. Patrick Schwert, number 40. Over the top of Robbie Bowman, the little red-headed rover for the Warriors. Umpire Ross Campbell will bounce. Cousins has won nearly everything in ruck today. Bowman's there, number 39, now out to Lynch. On to Haylock, on the left foot he goes. Forward, David Buckley couldn't get his hands around that one. In fact, it was a slips catch. Ralphie Seward, desperate work in the pocket. Zip zap off, he goes around the boundary line. He's got a panic. Can he line up the goals? No, he goes towards centre half forward. And out on the lead is Stephen Nichols. Good play, Ralph Seward. Desperate work on that occasion. Kept the ball in play. Could have been selfish and lined up the goals, but he saw Nichols running out from full forward. And Nichols' goal with kick number 8, an opportunity to kick his 4th. That's on the way, that's right through the middle. Goal number 4 to Stephen Nichols, and the Warriors advance their lead back to 10 points.
Yes, and gee, the experience of Ralph Sewer was superb, man. He did that. It was incredible effort. He was tucked away in the boundary line. He had to beat a couple of opponents. He did it well. Then he broke clear. He thought about having a shot for a goal, but he kept a cool and level head and saw the lead by Nichols and speared one right onto his chest. And that's great play by the Woodville veteran.
Desperate work by both defences in this quarter. Only 4 goals scored. We're 28 minutes into the second term. Cousins up. Parker got that tap. It goes to Scott Lee. Bowman came through heavily and collected Scott Lee. Now Bowman with the kick. Kevin Harris, the bulldozer. Handballs over the top to Colin McDonald, running through centre half forward. Through he goes out to Nichols. The ball short for him. He can't gather it in. Now he does. Now off to Sewer. Can he line up the goals? He's looking for an opening. Back he goes. Left foot's gone forward. Straight through the middle. And who was that?
That was Michael Wilson, and he did it well. He was under pressure, and gee, the Warriors, they're doing a good job today. They just keep bouncing back, and Malcolm Blight would have to be a little bit pleased, or very pleased at this stage. He's had a couple of wry grins. This time it's assistant coach John Reid with a smile, and gee, it's good to see when you Malcolm Blight's position that you can still raise a smile. But that was superb play by Michael Wilson, and the Dogs are going, or the Warriors, should I say, are going from strength to strength.
Don't write the Bulldogs off yet. They're 16 points behind, but a long way to go. Umpire Graham Hilton. Cousins with the tap. Goes forward. Coming through, there's Jolly. He's tackled ferociously by the Bulldogs. Nolan now tries to get a handball out. Jolly smothers it again. Rene Van Dongel's in his back, but there's no free kick, and another ball up will take place. There's the siren to finish the final of the second term at Football Park. Woodville 10 goals, 66. Lead Central District 7 goals, 850, and the actions come to you on 7's big lead. Third term at Football Park, and it's the Warriors by 16 points. Advanced all before them in the first half, as up goes Parker and Cousins. Cousins has won that tap as he did in the first half. Nearly everything went his way. Back to Hannum at centre half back. He's killed Taylor in the first half of this game. Out wide to Trigg. Yet again the Bulldogs are going a little bit indirect. Trigg tries to keep the ball in play, but unfortunately he slips over and the ball is in fact out. Throw in to take place, and we're 26 seconds into the third quarter. Max Parker number 1, Mark Hull 26. Parker takes front possession, gets it down to Harris. He's tackled very strongly by Trevor Rowe. Rowe in fact is tagging Harris this afternoon. A perennial tagger, as Peter Marker would have him known. Bulldogs back into attack. Up goes Bubner, ball to ground. Bubner's first to recover. He accelerates away. On the left foot he goes, looking into man to make it full forward. A push in the back. The umpire hasn't seen it. He's paid the mark. Play on, and it's a goal. 4 goals to Rudy Mandamaker. Good play, but there was a push in the back. The umpire didn't see it. He took advantage of it, marked the ball and played on. That's his 4th, and Woodville go to 10 goals, 6. 66, leading Central's 8 goals, 8, 56.
Yes, you hit the nail right on the head there, David. There was a push in the back, and it was unsighted by the umpire, but a lot of the early work involved in that goal should be credited to Peter Bubner, who used his pace to get the ball back around his body, and it was a fine mark by Mandamaker, but he was definitely in his back.
Yes, the full-back should have been looking to punch away, however, on that occasion. Regardless, ball to ground. Krieg off the ground. Back with Flintoff. Cousins, short handball out to Hull. They're accelerating through centre half forward. Hull goes towards the goals. Is it good? Just offline and through for 1 point. Well, Kim, you were very impressed with Mandamaker's form in the first half, but Robert Lynch, who was playing on him in the first term, didn't punch away at all.
Yes, there were several occasions where he should have applied the punch, but he didn't, and he suffered for it. He's been moved away from Mandamaker. But nonetheless, Mandamaker's been a very good player. The ball comes down to Harris now. He's sharked that one superbly, managing to get away from Trevor Rowe for a brief period. Ball comes out in the direction of Colin McDonald, who was pushed in the back and will receive the free kick. McDonald plays on quickly with a short pass out to Lunn. He dropped it but had time to recover. Back to Parker, getting themselves in a little bit of trouble, the Warriors. Out of it now with a quick pass out to Haylock. Play on the call. Bowman got that one over to Harris again. He's starting to get back into the game, over the top to Taylor. This is a great build-up, the Warriors. And he's banged it through the middle. Great play, the Warriors. They move on now to 11 goals, 6. The Dogs are on 8 goals, 9.
Andrew Taylor, in fact, scoring his second goal, but it was good play up the ground. Saw the ball come through to the running player in Harris. He was able to shrug off the tagger in Rowe and accelerate through centre half forward. The ball fell to Taylor, and he had a clear kick at goals. That's his second. Central's 8 goals, 9.57. Woodville, 11 goals, 6.72.
Cowboy Neil kept his boys in for a long time. At half-time, they should be pretty revved up. Cousins, big tap. He's won the rucking duel today. Over the top to Bubner. Bubner in turn to Connolly. Connolly with a very high kick. Underneath it is Jacquia. And he drops a mark. He wasn't being contested or competing against anyone. It was a bad mistake. Play on the call. The Dog fans wanted the free kick to Fraser. Now the ball comes out to Trevor Rowe. Couldn't take the mark. In there is Detman. Detman slick handball out to Jacquia. Jacquia back to Harris. He had number touches in this early moments of this third quarter. Out to Taylor. Did it well. Taylor plays on to Fuller. Has to get around the opponent. The umpire was in the way then. Did it well on to Martin. Short pass to Nichols. Great play, Woodville. Oh, they're starting to run now. They look dangerous.
Yes, they do, Kim, and there wasn't a Central District player touch the ball between full back and full forward, and that's a good sign for Malcolm Blight. They've been able to play possession football. Kick number 8 to Nichols. It's on the way. It's offline, however. In fact, it's through for 1 point. He already has 4 goals, Stephen Nichols, and that point will take his tally to 4 goals too, in fact.
Brett Hannum to kick out for the Dogs. Former Central captain. Thought about Connolly, who gave the early lead. Now kicks it out in that direction. From behind, Connolly had to spoil. Players jump on top of each other, and we'll have a bounce in front of the grandstand.
Yes, it's Woodville at this stage by 16 points. They've done everything right in the first term. They led by 18 points at quarter time, 16 points at half time. Kevin Harris trundling around the boundary line. David Flintoff was there, and the ball's out of play. Right forward pocket. We're 5 minutes into this third quarter at Football Park. Conditions ideal for football. Cousins and Parker out to Fuller it goes. Now Ralph Sewer on the left foot he goes. Goalward. It kicks on its way. The umpire's coming around a little bit, but not enough, and it's also 1 point. Woodville 11 goals, 8.74. Lead the Bulldogs 8 goals, 9.57.
Botka to kick out this time. Cousins wants the ball down the middle of the ground. Hannum leads out to the outer side, but Botka decides to kick it to the grandstand side. Trigg from behind. 2 grabs, 3 grabs, and the mark's been paid. Well done, Stephen Trigg, playing his 100th game. Another former Central captain. Kick number 7 coming up. Looking for Mark Hull. Hull from behind. Oh, great mark, Rogers. Impressive youngster, David.
Yes, he is, and that was a great mark. He flew high above the pack, kept his eye on the ball from a difficult angle. Haylock didn't, however. He drops it. Now has to try and get a handball out to the running player in John Martin. Flintoff handballs the ball in front of him. Ralph Sewer puts the hips and takes him out of the action. Back with Haylock. Taylor, Hannum. Ball's over their head. Through goes Bowman. Botka's there. He's hit heavily by Taylor. In fact, he's hit high. And Mark Botka from the true centre-half back position will take a free kick. Now handball's on. Out to Buckley. Buckley's a little slow to get his kick, but just does so. Centre-half forward is Mark Hull. Punched away from him by Rogers. Now John Martin. Back to Fuller. Fuller to Jacquia. Jacquia has a nasty knock above his left eye. Coming through on that occasion was Michael Wilson. The umpire has picked out a free kick for him.
Well, Woodville doing plenty of attacking. Play on the call. Wilson did that easily. Got round Van Dommel and Bubner. Spears out a low pass. Bowman too short. Intercepted well by Nolan. Nolan plays on quickly out in the direction of Van Dommel. Now Van Dommel's got Fraser all alone in the forward pocket if he can get it to that player. He does so via Krieg. Now he has time to chip out a short pass, and he's found Mandamaker again. Oh, he had 10 yards on Lunn that time.
Well, Kim, Lunn was just strolling along. He didn't make a determined attempt to get anywhere near Mandamaker on that occasion, and that's mark number 11 for the big Central District full forward.
Yes, he's already kicked 4-goal-4 and had a hand in a number of other goals. Been a real danger man up there. Kicks on its way. Umpire doesn't move at all. That's a superb kick. It's right through the middle. It's Mandamaker's 5th goal, and it's Woodville's 12th, and they lead by 3-5. And we've had 8 minutes of this third quarter.
Well, Rudy Mandamaker with 5 goals is certainly the sensation of the Bulldog attack in his debut game. We're only 8 minutes gone in this third term at Football Park, and already he has 5 goals up. But Kim, it's got to be a worry, I think, for Malcolm Blight, the fact that his defence aren't punching away.
Yes, they haven't been tight enough, David, that's for sure. Big tap by Cousins. Down to Fuller. Fuller got it over to Wilson. Been a good player today, Wilson. Pushes out a pass to Haylock. Haylock want to get it in quickly. Taylor moving around down there. Hannum keeping a close check on him. Front position is Taylor. Well spoiled by Hannum. He's had a good game. Van Dommel over the top with a big thump. In there is Girdham. He can't get possession. No, neither can Templeton. And now the ball runs over the line, and we'll have a throw in.
Yes, Cowboy Neil would be a bit concerned too that his forwards are playing indirect football. When they've gone direct, they've been able to find man to maker. Woodville, on the other hand, have generally gone more direct and have therefore scored much more frequently. Off the half-back line goes Hannum, and as you called it, Kimmy's had a great game. Bubner, he's also played well. Jacquier back with Bubner, handballs it out, but Rogers can't gather the ball in. Now he does. Off to Martin, off to McDonald. The Warriors into attack yet again, and lurking by himself forward there is Kevin Harris. Cousins chipped in, but back with Harris. Moves like a bulldozer. Off to Taylor. Now Haylock, chip short. The lead is on. Unfortunately, it's not marked by Nichols. In fact, Bowman's interfered with by Bunga Hearn. No free kick, says the umpire. Girdham tries for a handball forward, but is bundled out of play. Desperate work by the Warriors forward line then to keep the ball in their area.
Certainly was, David, and young Robbie Bowman, he struggled to pick up the pace of the game today. Only had a handful of league games and perhaps obviously lacking a little bit of experience. Hannum got the handball out towards Haylock. Now through goes Sewer. He tries to burst his way through the pack. He was dispossessed. Taylor grabs one, snapshot on its way, and it's through. Oh, he holds the hands up. He's happy about that. That's his third goal. Gee, and that was a great goal. There was a massive players there, and Taylor just picked the ball up and banged it straight through the middle, and you can't do any better than that. That's Woodville's 13th goal, and they lead Central on 9-9.
Yes, it was a good goal from the big centre-half forward. Has been kept quiet by Brett Hannum, but he's broken loose in the last couple of minutes. 2 goals in 3 minutes for Andrew Taylor, and Cowboy Neil has a few headaches.
Certainly has. Back in the centre, Cousins doing all the ruck work today, or the majority of it. It's a big tap. He's won another one. Out to McDonald. McDonald to Wilson. Been a good player. Over to Sewer. There's another attack for the Warriors. Out to Nichols. Oh, well spoiled, Botka. Down to Haylock. He's been dangerous up forward in this third quarter. Through went Nolan. He couldn't take it. Back to Botka. Hearn, playing his 100th game, release for the Bulldogs. And that relieving kick has gone out of bounds. And we've had 10.5 minutes of this third quarter.
31 is Richard Cousins. Number 1 is Max Parker. Cousins over the back, down to Girdham. Ball's punched clear of the pack, and David Buckley leads in the race for that. He chips in towards centre-half forward. The kick is high. Underneath that one will be Connolly and Harris, but up goes Rene Van Dommel from the back. In fact, he's marked it. Good mark, Rene Van Dommel. Plays on quickly. Out to Krieg. The running player is Connolly. On his left foot he'll go. Chips forward. Looking for man to make it. Can he find it? No, he can't. Chipping in is Robert Lynch. Good play, Lynch. Plays on now. Grandstand side go the Warriors. Now with Jacquier. He's got no one to kick to. Goes in towards centre field now. Underneath that one was Templeton, but the ball's punched away from him by Schwert. Now back with Fuller. Towards the centre he'll go, and underneath that one is Harris. He'll handball off. The running player was Wilson. Off to Harris. Harris lines up the goals. Is it there? It's offline. In fact, it's through for 1 point.
Yes, and Woodville attacking incessantly. Botka not sure which way to go. You see Stephen Nolan there. His mum wouldn't be happy if she has to watch those socks tonight. He's lost both his boots. Great mark by Stephen Schwert in front position. Yes, it's rather strange. Nolan's made no attempt to put his boots on. I don't know if he might intend playing the rest of the game without them. Ball comes at the back of the pack. Jacquier has been solid in defence. Under pressure by Connolly. Did it well though, and that's a great handball over the top to Michael Wilson. He's had a good game, Wilson. Over to long kick there by Rogers. Rogers down towards Harris. Schwert intercepts. Harris had him though. He's not giving him any peace at all. He's managed to get the ball out to Taylor. Oh, he's run into a brick wall. High tackle. Hearn's not happy, but it was definitely there. Play on the call. He's run himself into a bit of trouble. Well done, Bunga Hearn. Great desperate football. And Trigg will relieve for the Bulldogs.
Trigg's kick goes wide towards the wing. Over the top was Jolly. Rowe was with him, but Ron Fuller is there to back up. Support given. Back to Jolly. He copped a high elbow. That's not good work. Back with Rogers. Fuller. Centre field they go now with Haylock. Haylock's dropped a couple of marks, but he has played well. Handball's over the top to the running player in John Martin. They're moving the ball much better, the Warriors, than the Bulldogs. Forward they go. Underneath that one was Bowman. He's kept the ball in front of him. Girdham is there also. David Buckley over the top. Number 15 on your screen is Bunga Hearn. Girdham's getting up, holding his arm. Let's hope it's not serious. Still without any boots on is Nolan, making no attempt to find boots. Parker with the tap. Down it goes. Taylor tries for a left foot snap at goals. Bowman's on the bottom of that pack. In fact, the umpire has come in and called for a ball up. Nolan placing his boots on. That's good to see.
No, doesn't want them after all. He's thrown it away. I'm sure he'll put them on as soon as he gets a little bit more time. Cousins down. Tap went straight to Bowman. Bowman and turn out to McDonald. Now he's had a snapshot. The umpire's making plenty of ground. In fact, it's not that much ground after all. It's a great goal. That was his 8th kick, and that was a superb snap. And Woodville are just starting to pull away from Central now. They move on to 13 goals, 9. Central on 9-9.
Well, we're only 14 minutes into this third term, and Woodville are 4 goals clear. Cowboy Neal certainly has some headaches. Great snap from McDonald. On the left foot he went. It came around with a very slight breeze, whatever there is at Football Park. And that gave him his first goal for the game.
Parker got the tap this time. It's a long one. It's gone down in the direction of Templeton. Templeton over to McDonald. McDonald's long kick coming out. Nichols in front. Oh, couldn't take the mark. Well spoiled Botka. He's still in there though, Nichols. He's got possession. Got out a long handball back to Wilson. Wilson gets around one opponent. Now throws the ball onto his boot. It's a long kick. Bunga Hearn there. He's given a free kick. Pushing the back, and little Robbie Bowman will receive the free kick only metres from goal.
Yes, it was certainly a free kick. Bowman had front position. Bunga Hearn was trying to get back to punch the ball away, and in doing so gave away the infringement. It was certainly there. Bowman looking to hand the ball off. I don't know why. Point blank range, the angle might be a bit difficult. Kicks on its way. In fact, it's given him a little bit more problem than we thought, and that's through for 1 point. He wouldn't be pleased.
Certainly wouldn't be, David. That would have been a very handy goal. Scott Lee warming up on the bench. Nolan will come off. That'll give him time to put his boots back on. And, well, actually, Scott Lee's been left unattended. Hannam hasn't seen him. He kicks to the outer side in the direction of Rowe, and he's found that player. Good pass and good lead. In fact, Stephen Nolan has gone straight down the players' race, so there may be another problem as well, apart from his boots. Kick out in the direction of Trigg. Through went Taylor, and he knocked the ball over the boundary line. We've had 15 and a half minutes of this third quarter, and Woodville doing everything right.
25 points clear, and there's Nolan back with a fresh pair of boots. Looks like long sprigs too. Obviously conditions are a little lush out in the middle there as the ball comes back forward. Hannam and Taylor. Hannam didn't punch the ball away. Taylor put his hands up and marked. Now onto the left foot he goes. Forward he has Ralph Sewer in the left forward pocket. Ralph was probably too far out to score. He's on his left boot. Deep in the pocket. Kick number 8 for Ralph Sewer. Woodville lead by 4 goals 1. If he could possibly score this, it would advance them. Oh, the torpedo kicks on its way. Has he kicked it? He has, Ralph Sewer. We called it out at distance. It certainly wasn't, and it's straight through the middle. That's Ralph Sewer's first, and Woodville go to 5 goals 1 clear of the Bulldogs, and it's a demolition.
And have a look at Ralph. He's pretty happy about that. There's a big raw smile on the veteran. But, gee, it wasn't a good kick off the boot. He attempted the torpedo punt. It wobbled everywhere, but it went straight as a die, and the net result was a good one for the Warriors, and they move on to 14-10. Central trailing on 9-9.
31 points to lead to the Warriors. Nolan looking to come back onto the field. He's pretty keen to get back in the fray. Back at centre field. Parker and Cousins. Cousins got that tap. Down it went to Connolly. He burst his way through the pack, but the handball is only as far as Parker. He's on the left foot. Drives it in forward. Looking there for Nichols. Nichols is up. It's punched away from him by Botka. Second grab Nichols. Tried to claim it. Through comes Templeton. Haylock's in the pocket. Can he pick the ball up and snap? Close attention. Bunga Hearn lined him up. Missed him, fortunately. Now Schwert. Back to Botka. Good desperate work by Bowman at the bottom of the pack with the ball under his arm, and he's kept it in their area.
Yes, and I suggest if Bunga Hearn had made contact, then he would have put him out of the park. Came through like a train. Parker snapshot, hit the post. Gee, he did that well for a big fella. Great reflex work.
Yes, grabbed the ball out of the ruck, straight onto the left foot he went, and a bit unlucky to have hit the post. 17 3/4 minutes into the third term. Conditions ideal for football at league headquarters. Botka back into play. Underneath that one is Scott Lee and Kevin Harris. It bounces over their head. Now Trevor Rowe. He's tackled but gets the handball out wide. Has Cousins. Cousin goes forward looking for Hull. He's found him, in fact, and the chest mark is taken. On to Krieg. Play on go the Bulldogs. They need to get moving. Man to make out in front. Drop that one. Now Lunn. Pushing the back, says the umpire. Well, you be the judge.
I was definitely there, David. Umpire was in the right position. He saw that one. Definitely a free kick to Mandamaker.
Umpire Ross Campbell in the right position to see that one, obviously. Mandamaker with 5 goals, 4 from 14 kicks. Good effort from the big fella. Has been a genuine focal point up forward. If he kicks this, he'll have 6 goals in his league debut. Kicks on its way. It's drifting slightly across line. In fact, it is offline. 5 goals, 5 to Mandamaker in what is still a very impressive league debut.
Yes, he's a very good player, and it surprises me it's taken him this long to get a league berth. Kicked 49 goals in the reserves this year. Cousins over the top. Play a bit scrambly there. Ball comes out direction of Connolly. Through went Lynch. He was retarded when he didn't have possession and received the free kick. Nolan has come back onto the ground at the expense of Scott Lee. Now Jackriel to relieve for the Warriors. Handball over to Lunn. Lunn in turn with a long handball to Jolly. Put him under a little bit of pressure. Got out of it well. Now he goes wide. They're crisscrossing all over the ground, but he's found Sewer. Now Sewer will take off. He should go right up the middle. Uses his full 10-15 metres. Now it's a long kick. Harris front position. Hearn at the back of the pack takes that well, and he'll clear for the Bulldogs.
Hearn's kick is wide to the running player in Nolan. He's got a paddock. If he can gather the ball in, he does now. No one forward, though, for the Bulldogs. Hull is there. He's dropping back. Punched away by Rogers. Cleverly done. Now it's Bowman for the Warriors. His kick goes forward looking for Taylor. Brett Hannam and Taylor have had a great duel. Hannam had one hand to it and 2 bites out of it, not paid. Ball's gone to ground. Detman is there, number 4. 8 is Hannam for the Bulldogs, and at the bottom of that pack was Andrew Taylor, the blonde-headed giant, former Footscray and Collingwood player.
Yes, they have had a good duel, but 3 goals from centre-half forward's a good effort. Aylock thought about the handball, goes one way, then the other. Now chips out a pass in direction of Sewer and finds that player. Strong marker, Alfie Sewer. Sewer, with a wobbly kick. Not a good kick, but it's been taken by Wilson, and I can assure you it wasn't intended for that player. And Wilson did well to mark that.
That was, in fact, intended for Stephen Nichols on the lead. But Michael Wilson chipped in to be able to take a good, strong chest mark, running the wrong way.
Yes, and he's been a good player from the centre wing area today. He's had 10 kicks and 11 handballs, and starting to show the effects of it. Appears to be cramping up somewhat. 20 minutes into the third quarter. Woodville on 14-11, Central 9-10. Could be a very handy goal. Taking plenty of time. Certainly realises the importance of this kick, but can't do anything about it. That is disgusting, that is. That's a woeful kick. And, oh, well, fortune favours the brave.
Well, I couldn't say you've been too hard on him, Kim. It certainly wasn't a good kick. As you called it, luck's a fortune. Kevin Harris, point-blank range, lines him up, kicks on its way. But it's offline, and that's through for 1 point. Kevin Harris today has kicked 1 goal too, but has been a very good player in the Warriors' execution of this game. Bulldogs are in trouble.
Certainly are. Can they do what they did last week? Certainly was a Harry Houdini effort. Stephen Trigg, strong mark. He'll try and lift the Dogs. Over to Buckley. Buckley with a short pass out in the direction of Connolly. Oh, he dropped that. Should have taken it. Should have taken it. Got both hands to it, but couldn't control it. And we'll have a throw in right in front of our commentary position. And gee, the Dogs, they just need a spark. They need something to happen. Maybe it could be O'Neill in the ruck. He did it last week for them. Handball from Krieg out towards Rowe. Wilson in there. Gee, he's been a try today.
Yes, Kim, you called that correctly. Mick O'Neill last week was in sensational form for the Bulldogs in ruck, but they've used him sparingly today. And if he can get himself into the game, maybe he's just the spark that the Bulldogs need. He gets that tap away, goes to Trigg. He was a good player in the second half last week. Can he get himself into this game? Now Connolly on the left foot, goes forward. Punched away by Rogers. Well done, Rogers. Now to Sewer. He overruns the ball. Bunga Hearn gathers it in. Quickly gets a kick away, goes towards Flintoff. He's been quiet in this third term. Drives forward now, looking for the big fellow man to make it, but he slips over. Lunn comes out. Now John Martin. Robert Lynch is tackled. Didn't get a clear handball away. But Mandamaker dives on top of that just to keep the ball in the area.
Yes, and Cowboy Neal's made some moves in an effort to try and lift his side. He's put Cousins to centre-half forward, O'Neill in the ruck. Flintoff appears to be roving at this stage, and I would suggest that Krieg has gone to centre. Flintoff in there working hard. Rowe in there, couldn't get a ball. Out comes Lynch with a clearing kick. It's a long kick out direction. O'Neill can't quite get to it. Does it well, the big fella over. That's a great tackle applied by Taylor. He didn't have a lot of chance there to get rid of it, but it was a good tackle, and off goes the blonde terrier. He's bolted. But unfortunately, umpire Ross Campbell says, I'm sorry, son, you'll have to come back and have your kick over the mark. Handball's over to Harris. Looking to play on at all costs, Woodville, and that's been the difference today. They've done it well. It's a long kick. Nichols front position over his head, and there's the ever reliable Bunga Hearn in his 100th game.
Yes, Bunga Hearn and Stephen Trigg playing their 100th game for the Bulldogs today. Certainly one they may remember if they get demolished by Woodville. Stephen Nolan tries for a bounce, but takes a while to gather the ball back in. Now goes forward looking towards Bubner. He gathers the ball in, is hit heavily but plays on. He's a desperate man, Bubner. He's trying to get his game going and help the Bulldogs up the ladder. Now Krieg goes forward, bounces in front of goals. In fact, it's bounced through. Kick number 19, Peter Krieg. What a game he's had. Great play from him. That's his first goal.
Third time lucky. We'll get his stats right in a minute. Kick number 15, in fact, for Peter Krieg, and he's been a good player. We've spoke of his work rate in recent weeks, and it certainly has lifted this year. He's a very desperate footballer nowadays, and couple that with his incredible skills, and you've got a very good player indeed.
Well, it's a job here getting the stats right. 15 kicks to Peter Krieg. That's his. They trail by 26 points, the Bulldogs. Up goes Livis, now in ruck. Rose there, through comes Detman. Ball comes to ground, nobody can pick that one up. Back with Krieg, he's been a genuine terrier. Now Rowe. Back to O'Neill. O'Neill goes forward. His man to make her up to it this time. No, he's not. It comes to Flintoff. He's tackled. Off to Cousins on the left foot goes Cousins goalward. But it's offline, and again 1 point. Well, inaccuracy costing the Bulldogs. We're just into time on in the third term at Football Park. And the Warriors lead by 25 points.
Kick out wide looking for Martin. Been a quiet player today. Took a fine mark then. Bubner policing the mark. Fuller wants it short. Ignored by Martin. Now he kicks a long one, hugging the boundary line. Templeton at the back of the pack, so too is Stephen Schwert. Handball comes out quickly to Wilson. He's besieged upon. Now out towards Harris. Now he's got a paddock. Now he's had one bounce. He can keep running if he wants to. Nichols wanted it short. Kick number 14 coming up. He can go all the way home if he wants to. He's done that. Great play, Kevin Harris, the Woodville ruck rover, the vice-captain. He's banged that one right through the middle, and that's a great individual effort. Superb play, Kevin Harris. Woodville, 15 goals, 12, pulling away, answering every effort put in by Centrals on 10-11.
Well, Kevin Harris could certainly have the play of the day on that occasion. 4 bounces down grandstand wing onto the half-forward line, and from 50 metres out, banged through his second. Well, they're doing everything right, the Warriors. They now lead by 31 points. That's his third goal, in fact. He's played a sensational game.
Certainly has. O'Neill in the middle, Livis against him. Livis won the tap. Been used sparingly today, Livis. Short kick finds Taylor. Game coming alive at Football Park. Taylor's kicks long and high. Botka holding his ground from behind. Couldn't take the mark. The back of the pack. Bowman, and he's trickled that one through on his left foot. See the little fella, he looked a little bit tentative, but that'll give him a bit of confidence. Sharked that one well at the back of the pack and swung around and just dribbled it through on his left boot, and Woodville move on to 16-12 now, pulling away from the Dogs again, 10-11.
Scott Lee about to come back onto the oval. Coming off is Patrick Squirt. Good Rovers goal to Bowman on that occasion. Read the ball best, stayed down. Onto the left foot he went, and that's advanced their lead to 37 points.
Back in the middle with Ross Campbell. Livis opposed to O'Neill again. Livis wins the tap again. Underrated ruckman is Livis. Oh, Taylor used the body well. Lucky bounces come the way of Bowman again. Geez, come into the game. Another shot, 20 yards, or should I say 30 metres out, and he was offline, and that's a point. Could have been a very handy one.
Yes, if he'd have kicked that, it could certainly have been good night Irene for the Bulldogs. Bunga Hearn giving him a little bit of extra attention. Out it comes to Girdham. He's been very quiet today. Roger Girdham, attended by Haylock. This will only be kick number 5. 28 minutes into the third term. Girdham goes forward, looking for O'Neill. He's there. Up goes the big fella, but there's been an infringement. Bubner has in fact pushed Livis in the back, and Terry Livis, the big Warrior ruckman, will have the free kick. Centre wing, 28 minutes into the third term. 38 points to lead to the Warriors. They've done everything right in this term. Taylor's up, so's Hannum. One-handers. Scott Lee handballs out to Bunga Hearn. Detman attacks him. Now it's out with Stephen Trigg, a 100-game player. Has his second bounce. Now handballs off to Scott Lee. At his feet, unfortunately. Lee's upended unceremoniously by McDonald. Centre half forward it goes. Richard Cousins is there, but better to the task as Rogers, and he's marked. In fact, a bit of aggressive play there. You've got to be a little bit careful. They take free kicks off you for that. Rogers goes wide, looking for Bowman. Scott Lee's there, punched away, however, by Lubis. Now Michael O'Neill. Handball's well over his head to no man's land. In fact, it's no one there for the Centrals. Detman goes forward to Taylor. It wasn't punched away by Brett Hannum, and Taylor's marked.
He's getting right on top, David, in this third quarter. Short pass to Sewer. Now Sewer will kick this. No, he won't. He handballs over to Harris. Chance for goal number 4. 30 metres out, and he's pulled it across the face of goal, and that's a point. Got to give them credit, Woodville, though. They just keep attacking, and Central just can't come back with anything at the moment.
No, they'll need to find something. They did this last week. They started slowly and then came home like steam trains, but I think the Warriors have the better of them at the moment. Kevin Harris, number 25, the Warrior vice-captain. 3 goals, 3 to his credit. As Botka brings the ball back into play. Goes towards the outer. Michael O'Neill's there. He can't mark it. Now Nolan. He's played well. Off to Trigg. Kicks forward. Rogers is there. Coming through was Lynch. Now Cousins. He's got the run. 1 bounce. 2 bounce. He can run into the goals. Lines them up. In fact, kicks on its way. Is it through? No, it's offline, and that's through for 1 point. Well, could have been great play to big Richard Cousins. He had 1 goal for the day. Cowboy Neal down on the boundary line.
Yes, and wouldn't be happy. Cousins not under much pressure there, and was an important goal. Was one their side needed, and unfortunately he couldn't come up with the goods.
They haven't really got anything going for them, Kim, have they? They've got no excitement in their game, no desperation.
No, they need something to happen. They're looking for a spark from somewhere, but it's just not happening at the moment. Sewer, he's got himself into the game. Gets out a quick handball.
Through it, Kim. There's a throw.
Yes, and he's been caught. He's not happy. Rene Van Dommel to receive the free kick. Appears he's going to kick long. He's put that down towards Mandamaker. Uses his body well, but well spoilt there, and that's been punched through for a point. And the Dogs move on to 10 goals 13, trailing Woodville 16-14.
They have their task in front of them. They trail by 38 points, and we're 30 and a half minutes into the third term. Good crowd building up at Football Park. Conditions ideal for football. The breeze, whatever there was earlier in the game, has dissipated, advantaging neither side. Kevin Harris was underneath that one. Now Lynch comes through centre with a bounce. Didn't look confident, however. Bounce number 2. He's got to get rid of it quickly. He's tackled by Connolly. Now David Buckley. Back with Templeton. Short goes Templeton. Haylock intercepts that. Handballs out to the running player in McDonald. He lines up the goals. A big boom. A kick goes forward. But it's offline, and 1 point will be the result.
Yes, and Templeton's not happy. He wanted the handball back from McDonald, and I think he let him know about it then. Scott Lee kicking off, kicks out wide, looking for Nolan. Nolan spoiled and receive a free kick.
He's played a serviceable game today, Nolan, Kim.
He has. He's a player that gives 100% every Saturday, David. Scott Lee backs up from the fullback position. Punches out a pass, looking for O'Neill, and he's taken a fine mark.
He's got to take some more of those, O'Neill. As the siren goes, 31 and a half minutes into the third quarter. Woodville, 16 goals, 15, 111. Central Districts, 10 goals, 13, 73. And you're seeing this pasting on Seven's Big League.
Have anywhere else to go. Would have been sheer folly to give it to Gallagher. Could have gone over him perhaps, but he's aimed for the line. It's right in front of the scoreboard. Left half forward flank for Norwood. Hall and O'Neill. Who's holding on to who in there? Hall got it out. McIntosh caught. He suffers from a lack of pace on this ground. Flintoff. A chance Warhurst. The handball effective to Payne. Payne smothered. Well done. Good defence by the Dogs. I tell you what, they're in trouble. Bubner. Murdoch now. That was a good take. Back onto that left foot. He floats it in. Hull gets back on it. Gets one hand to the ball. Richard Anderson. I tell you what, there's a chance here, Norwood. McIntosh. Can he kick a goal? He can't. He can kick a point though. Norwood 1-3, the Dogs 6-4.
Norwood not doing too much. Gary McIntosh, it's a bit like a broken down racehorse. He's running on the spot. There's no doubt that ankle's not good. Really having trouble pushing across there to get back to the centre on David Flintoff. Roger Murdoch's done a couple of nice things at half forward, a couple of opportunities. He hasn't converted yet though. Coming out there, Michael O'Neill is going to get a free kick for around the neck. He almost made the mark. He was out in front of Neil Hine. Reversed the procedure from the other end of the ground when Neil Hine made a good lead and took the mark ahead of Michael O'Neill. Third kick for O'Neill. Done some very good work early. A lot of Nord players back in the defence here. It's gone for a long kick up towards Jeff Robertson. Hine from behind. It's off hands to McIntosh. His handball's ineffective, but Nord pick up the crumb through David Payne. Payne over half forward now. Pearce coming out. He can't take it. Botka. Away they go through Buckley. Buckley to Krieg. Through the centre of the ground. Peter Krieg on his own. He'll run all the way if he wants to. Just a matter of kicking it straight, I'd say. Short into half forward, Craig Brady. So Central Districts taking advantage of that play then. Krieg getting away from David Payne, running across from centre half forward very quickly when he saw his teammate take possession in defence. Brady, 45 metres, 7th kick. High in the air to floater out to the right. Got the distance, his aiming's off. 6 goals, 5 to Central's. Nord 1-3.
He's a very good competitor, Craig Brady. A very good player for the Dogs. He's kicked 3 points. One of them was a set-up goal which he couldn't kick. Payne couldn't mark the ball out there. Gee, it's Flintoff against 3 players and he's going to get a free kick. If one can beat 3, the Redlegs have got trouble. And have a look at the pass to Brady. Oh, Brady's got his chance for his 4th goal now. And this is not an easy one. He's on that right-hand side where he's got the wind blowing from his left to right. Very difficult to score a goal from that spot. No, the wind takes it. Freddie Phillips used to have trouble with that one. I think everyone has. The Dogs 6-6, Norwood 1-3.
4 points to Craig Brady. A bit cross with himself at this stage. Neil Baum. Out towards Johnson and Pike. Pike it is in front. Just caressing it into his arms very well. Siren blows quarter time here at Football Park. The Bulldogs off to a great start. 6-6-42, leading the Redlegs 1-3-9.
The Warriors lead by 38 points the start of the final quarter, and I can tell you that the Cowboy had both pistols out at 3/4 time. He gave his boys a lashing. Krieg out there, tried to get the ball forward towards Rowe. Taken by John Martin, got beat the ball very quickly. Harris front position, been a great player today, Harris. Flanked by McDonald, he's coming up for about kick number 15. It's a long kick, it's on its way, and it's a goal! Whoa, what a dream start to the Warriors. It took them 22 seconds to get that goal, and that was beautifully set up by Kevin Harris, and the Warriors move on to 17-15, pulling right away from the Dogs, 10-13.
Well, that's just the start that Cowboy Neil wouldn't have wanted. The Warriors straight into attack and a quick goal within the first minute of the final term. That's McDonald's second, and it was always going to be a goal. He was running clear. Free range shot at the goal, straight through the middle it went, and that's McDonald's second, Woodville 17th.
Back in the centre. Down to Detman, been quiet since coming on. Back to McDonald. McDonald with a wobbly pass. Comes out in the direction of Robbie Bowman. He's being pressured by Scott Lee. Did it well, Bowman. Get back on top that of the ball and keep it in the area.
Cowboy Neil has made a number of changes. Cousins is at centre half forward. They need to get something moving through that avenue of attack. They haven't been too successful so far. Bowman with the ball tackled, didn't get the ball away. In fact, he's been penalised for holding the ball. Scott Lee, Bulldogs rover. Left half back, drives the ball forward to the half forward line. Up goes Cousin, it's punched away from him. Now Flintoff through to Connolly. He fumbles the ball. Randall Johnny's over the top. Fantasia's on the field, 58 for Woodville. Punched away by Flintoff, coming through is Connolly. He's tackled strongly, in fact holding the ball. The umpire says play on to Lynch. He's tackled also. Off to Jacquia. Jacquia handballs wide. The running player is Alex Lunn. He's handballed on again to Colin McDonald. They look good when they go into attack the Warriors. McDonald goes forward, no man's land. There's no one there for the Warriors. Coming out was Templeton. He couldn't gather the ball in. There he is again. Ralph Sewers over the top of that one also. 22 is O'Neill. It's scrappy play on the outer. Livis now. He can't gather in the ball either. Comedy of errors. Mick O'Neill handballs off. Intercepting there was Michael Templeton with a strong tackle, and he's kept the ball in his area. Stephen Nolan was the player with the ball. He couldn't get it clear. They've been very desperate up forward, Kim, enabling their side to keep the ball in the forward lines.
Yes, well, that was a holding the ball decision, David. Nolan paid the penalty. Now we see Templeton with a chance to kick his second goal. Kick number 7. Umpire makes a little bit of ground, but not enough to indicate anything else but a goal. And Woodville are going from strength to strength. They've tackled, harassed, they've pressured the Dogs all day today, and they move on to 18 goals, 15 now, pulling right away from Central, 10-13.
I think you can say good night to the Bulldogs. 2 goals to Michael Templeton. He did that very well. The tackle was on Nolan. He couldn't get the ball clear, and you called it well, Kim. A free kick. But haven't they done a good job keeping the ball in their forward area?
Yes, what a form reversal. Went down to West Torrens at Thebden last week, but they bounced right back today. O'Neill in the ruck trying to lift his side. Livis there. O'Neill won the tap. Through comes McDonald, taken by Detman. Tried to get a handball out in the direction of Haylock. He can't control it. In there's Flintoff, been quiet in the second half. Neither player can gain control of the ball, and we'll have a bounce right back in the middle of the ground.
It's exactly a 50-point lead to the Warriors. We're only 3.5 minutes into this final term. Trigg punches the ball clear. Down to Bubner it goes. Off to O'Neill. Onto his left foot the big fella goes. Driving the ball deep into attack. Unfortunately, Jacquier is having a wrestling match with Girdham, and the free kick has gone to Roger Girdham. He's only 55 metres out. Possibility of scoring from that position. Kick number 6 for Girdham. He hasn't had a big day. A goal here would help his cause. It's not going to make the distance, however. Up goes the big fella in man to maker. At the back was Rogers. Lynch pushed the ball through, and that's a rush point to Central District, and that's not going to help their cause at all, Kim.
Certainly not, David. They trail by 49 points. Lund with the kick-off to pass out the direction of Rogers. Rogers collects that nicely, now chips out a short pass looking for Livers. O'Neill spoils well. Oh, Livers knocks over Rogers. Warriors getting in each other's way. High tackle there by Cousins. And the free kick will go to Alex Lund. Been a fairly steady performer in the back line today. Coming up for kick number 6. It's a long kick looking for Taylor. Front positions Hannum. Taylor spoils from behind. Down to Krieg. He taps it on again. So too does Detman. Now it's Haylock. Here the Warriors are in with a chance. Handball over to McDonald. Kicks out wide to Sue. He's got front position and too much pace for Buckley. Did it well. Now Nichols is on the lead. It's put out in the direction of that player. Oh, front position. Great mark, Kevin Harris. Gee, he's been a live wire today. He was a little bit quiet in the second quarter when Trevor Rowe was put on him. Found it hard to get away from him, but gee, he's been in everything. Already kicked 3 goals. Coming up for goal number 4. Been an inspirational effort today by Harris, and he split the centre there. Kick number 14. That's his 4th goal, and moves the Warriors on to 19 goals, 15, pulling right away from the Dogs, 10-14.
6 minutes into the final term, and the Bulldogs haven't been able to score a goal. The Warriors have added 3, and that was a great mark and a good goal to Kevin Harris. Goal number 4 for him, the Warrior vice-captain. Been very strong ruck roving or on half forward. Certainly a player that the Bulldogs have had no answer for.
O'Neill opposed to Livis. Livis with a big tap, been a good player since being moved into the ruck, down towards Templeton. Nolan over Hearn, in fact it is, underneath that pack. Ball trying to get knocked out in the direction of Fuller. Now down to Haylock, taken by Hannum. Hannum with a long kick. Intercepting is Jolly. Plays on quickly. Jolly with a quick pass out the direction of James Fantasia. Only came onto the ground this quarter. Uses his full 10-15 metres, has a shot. Unfortunately it's offline, and it's another point. And we've had 7 minutes of this final quarter, and Woodville look to be in control.
More than in control, Kim. They've done all the attacking in this final term. Central District have gone forward only once for 1 point, and it wouldn't matter what Cowboy did now. It wouldn't help his side. Brett Hannum in the back pocket. They need to go more direct, the Bulldogs. They need 9 goals quickly. Michael O'Neill shepherds off strongly. Connolly comes through. Handball's off to David Buckley. On the left foot he goes. But unfortunately, it slewed off the outside of his boot. In fact, it's gone out of play on the full. And John Martin will take the free kick for the Warriors. John Martin played at centre wing today. In fact, it's not going to be John Martin to take the free kick. It'll be Ron Fuller. Fuller's also been a good player for the Warriors. They've had a number of good players. This is kick number 14 for him. Drives it in high and long. Underneath that one's Taylor. With him is Hannum. He punches the ball away. Now it's Botka. Picks up the ball and drives it towards the grandstand side, looking for Rowe. Rowe's underneath that. In fact, he's marked in front of Jolly, but nowhere to go, and it's been the story of the day. When the Bulldogs have gone into attack, they've had no support. Now Lee, back to Rowe, over to Nolan. Nolan's been one of their few good players. Now to Cousins, punched away well by Rogers, but Mandamaker's there. On the left foot he should go towards the goals, he heads, but it's going to be offline. In fact, it's not even going to make the distance, and Steve Jackia takes a good mark running backwards.
Yes, they paid the penalty, Central. They haven't been direct enough. They got a focal point up forward in Mandamaker, and they just haven't used him enough in this second half. Robbie Lynch over to John Martin. Bowman wants it. He's provided the lead. Instead, Martin decides to handball to Sewer. Sewer acting as a link man. Gets out a well-directed pass to Detman. Now, Detman should go straight up the ground. He does that. Pushing out a pass, looking for Nichols. He's got a few yards on Botka. He's got to get round him. Managed to do it well. He's on the left foot. Straightens up. Kicks on its way. Unfortunately, it's offline, and that's a point that moves Woodville on to 19 goals, 17, 131. Absolutely annihilating the Dogs, 10-14, 74.
4 goals, 3, and a good display from full forward Stephen Nichols, the Tasmanian recruit. Now back with Connolly. He gathered the ball off the pack. Goes forward on the left foot. No one home for the Bulldogs. Leading out in the race for that was Jackia. Now Krieg. He's tackled, gets the handball away. Ron Fuller gathers it in. 1 bounce, 2 bounce. He'll go forward. Easy as you like for the Warriors today. Out they go. The big fella's up in Nichols, and he's got it. On the chest, Stephen Nichols. Too fast for Botka. And he'll have an opportunity of posting his 5th goal. Coming up for kick number 10. Not a lot of kicks from a full forward, but he's used each very well. 30 metres out. Distance won't be a problem. On he goes, on the left foot. A bit casual, in fact, a bit too casual. And he's pulled it across to the right, and that's through for 1 point.
10-minute mark of this final quarter. And all the moves that Cowboy Neil's made today haven't worked. Unlike last week when he moved Bubner around and Flintoff and Krieg, and all those moves paid off. But today just nothing's happened. O'Neill in there fighting hard for his side. Knocked it out towards Botka. He can't control it. Now it comes out the direction of Templeton. Gets round onto his right boot. Spears out a pass. Oh, Nichols bundled out of the way then. Now it's taken by Haylock. Back to Taylor. Could this be goal number 4? Looks good off the boot. Great goal, Taylor. Andrew Taylor, superb goal. Kick number 6. But he kicked 4 goals from centre half forward, and you can't ask for much more than that. And gee, the Woodville are just really rubbing salt into the wounds now. The Dogs can't do anything. They're gone. Woodville move on to 21-18, just tearing right away from the Dogs, 10-14.
I think you're right, Kim. At 64 points the difference. It's going to be a drubbing to the Bulldogs today. President Bob Zarella wouldn't be too pleased, and neither would Cowboy Neil. They said the Bulldogs wouldn't be complacent today, but the Warriors have given them an unmerciful bashing. Up in ruck goes Libas. Down now, Fuller punches it on cleverly. Over the top goes Taylor. They're doing everything right. Everything's going their way. Templeton goes across to Haylock. Haylock lines up the goals. That's right through the middle. What a whitewash.
Yes, it certainly is, David, and that was Haylock's 14th kick. And in fact, I did get Taylor's statistics wrong before. In fact, he's had 11 kicks, but the Warriors can do no wrong. They're just running amok here today, and gee, it's a woeful performance by the Dogs, especially in the position they are. This was a vital game for them.
Gary Haylock urging his side on. Percentage he's after. They need that to get off the bottom. Cowboy Neil certainly has a big headache today. Michael O'Neill in ruck. Through goes Libas. He's won that one. Out of the centre goes Haylock to Taylor. Taylor's over the top. Now Kevin Harris. He's been in everything. Out it goes to Templeton. He can line up the goals too. Is it another one? No, it's offline and through for 1 point. Well, Woodville doing all the attacking in this final term. We're almost 12 minutes gone. They lead by 70 points. couldn't possibly be caught at this stage. Botka to bring the ball back into play. Comes grandstand side. Underneath that one's Flintoff. But out the back is Taylor. So too is Ron Fuller. In fact, it's Fuller who has the mark. He chips towards Taylor, heading goalward goes Taylor. Nobody's with him. The ball's out in front. In fact, Botka pushes it across the line out of play.
And one of the main reasons Warriors are so far in front, David, is the fact they've taken the ball out of the centre 15 times opposed to the Bulldogs 7. And that's been one of the big differences today. Hannam in there. Once again, we'll have a throw in the forward pocket. Mark Hull ready to come back onto the ground. Not quite sure at the expense of who at this stage. But at least he was giving him something up forward at centre-half forward, David, when he was there. And that's something they haven't got now. Cousins hasn't been able to do it.
No, he hasn't, but there goes Kevin Harris on his way to goal, and he's put through number 5. They've kicked just 6 goals straight, Warriors, in this final term, and the Bulldogs are nowhere.
Yes, they're giving Central an absolute drubbing at the moment. Cowboy Neal has put Bubner to centre-half forward, but I think the horse has bolted, and it's O'Neill that comes off the ground. And he'll move to centre-half forward, and Bubner will move to a forward flank.
Warriors have been very impressive today. They've demolished the Bulldogs. Just goes to show you, it doesn't matter where you are on the ladder today, anyone can win. Max Parker getting ready to come on to the field. Central Districts were 5th before today. The Warriors were last. It's an interesting state of the competition. Bottom of that pack was Fuller. Back Detman. Detman on the right foot goes forward. Ralph Sewers there. Pole punched away from him. Goes back towards Krieg. He's been a battler for the Bulldogs today. Rowe on to Hannam. Hannam around his body to Trigg. Hasn't been able to dominate this game as he did last week in the second half. His kick is wide. Looking for Fraser. He's kept the ball in front of him. In fact, he's kept the ball in play. He lines up Harris. Kevin Harris wasn't too pleased with that either, but the boundary umpire said, in fact, the ball was out of play.
Yes, it'd take a lot more than that to worry Kevin Harris. He's a pretty tough customer. Cousins opposed to Parker. Parker just came back onto the ground. Cousins with a tap. Comes down the direction of Detman. He's tackled. And we'll have a throw in the exact same position. 15 minutes into this final quarter. Woodville 22-19. Central's 10-14. Been a disappointing effort by the Dogs today. Cousins with a big tap straight down to Van Dommel. He's been a quiet player today. Comes in the direction of Hull, but through goes Rogers. Well done by the rookie. Over goes to Girdham. Girdham been a quiet player also. Looking for Bubner. Couldn't find him. John Martin intercepts and forces the ball over the boundary line. And that's been the difference today. They've been a very desperate unit, Woodville, and they've reaped the rewards from it.
Yes, I think their body work has also been good. They mucked around a little bit in the first half, but their game has been very direct in the second half at Football Park. John Martin out wide, the running player in Fantasia. Ball's out in front of him. Bunga Hearn overruns it. Now it's Fuller. He has a bounce. He's got a paddock out there. He's had 2 bounces. He'll drive the ball into the forward line looking for Ralph Sewer. Up goes Ralph. He's dropped the chest mark. David Buckley's there with him. Ralph keeps the ball in front of him. Pushes it out now to Fantasia. He's not sure where to go. Decides to go short looking for Taylor. He's found him. Andrew Taylor, the big blonde centre-half forward. 50 metres out. He decides to go short. Leads out to McDonald. Nolan punches the ball away from him. In fact, Nolan has been one of the few very good players for the Bulldogs today. His kick goes to Rowe. Nolan supported again. Drives towards Hull. Rogers at centre-half back has punched the ball towards the boundary line, and Robert Lynch does the final little bit and just tapping it over.
Yes, he had a lot of problems early, Robert Lynch. Couldn't handle man to maker. Ideal conditions for football today. Crowd building up all the time. Parker opposed to Hull. Hull gets front position. Parker too strong from behind. Comes down to Krieg. Gets a boot the ball very quickly. Underneath that was Flintoff. He was spoiled by Jacqui. He's done it well in the back lines today. Over to Detman. Detman thought about a handball. He's in trouble now. Now gets the handball over to Jacqui, who's backing up. He nearly lost his head and he'll receive the free kick. Plays on quickly to Wilson. Rogers, in fact, it is. Rogers with his long kick towards Taylor. Cousins from behind. Fine mark.
Yes, he's been also one of the few good players for the Bulldogs today, Cousins, but not too many mates. Kick number 13. Drives forward. Over the top of that one's Fantasia. Now John Martin. His kick is high. In towards Harris. Over the back is Nolan, and he's marked. Good mark, Nolan. He plays on to Connolly, who has a paddock out wide. He'll have an opportunity to go onto his left foot looking for Krieg. Ball's tapped on to Flintoff. Flintoff lines up the goals. Good skills. In fact, he hasn't lined up the goals. It's an easy as you like pass to Fraser. Fraser marks onto his left foot and chips it through. Not very happy about that, Fraser. It's a long way home.
Certainly is, and Robert Fraser opened up the game in fine fashion today, but then he was removed from the ground, which I would imagine wouldn't have pleased him. 11-14, trailing Woodville 22-19. We've had 18 minutes of this final quarter, and unfortunately it's been a dismal day for the Dogs.
A dismal day it has been. 17 minutes into the final term to score their first goal for the quarter. They trail by 71 points. Umpire Graham Hilton to bounce. Cousins with Parker. Neither got a clear tap away. Bowman is there. Now Cousins. Bowman is in support of Fantasia. Fantasia is finding it difficult to pick up the ball. Now a short handball out. Ball finishes with Fuller. He's over the top. Has Taylor. Can Taylor line up the goals? He handballs off to Fuller. Fuller goes short looking for a Woodville player in Sewer. He's found him. Ralphie I thought was going to play on, but he tripped over. Made it look like he marked and slipped.
He was definitely off, David. Don't worry about that.
Big smile on Ralph Sewer's face. He knows that he was a little bit lucky. David Buckley is just pointing out to the umpire that in fact Sewer was playing on. Kick number 13 for Ralph Sewer. He has one goal to date. On his left foot he goes. Goalward bound. That's goal number 2. The Warriors go to 23 goals 19, 157, leading Central District 11 goals 14, 80 points on Sevens big league.
Well, when you're hot, and when you're not, you're not. You can see in replay there was Sewer definitely tried to play on there. He took the mark, he took off, but couldn't regain his footing. And a little bit lucky there, but nonetheless the score's on the board, and Woodville just going from strength to strength today.
Kevin Harris has 5 goals, Andrew Taylor 4, Ralph Sewer has 2. Some good performances up forward for the Warriors today. Graham Hilton to bounce again. From the left of your screen is Richard Cousins. From the right, Max Parker. Up they go, the big men fly. Cousins with the tap, down to Bowman. He's been at the bottom of most taps. Cousins bounds through centre half forward. On the left foot he goes, looking for the big fella up there in Mandamaker, and he's found him. Well, he was a sensation in the first half, Mandamaker, but since they moved Alex Lund back there during the third term, he's been very quiet. In fact, this is his first mark of this final term. He's kicked 5 goals, 5, and he's had 15 kicks. That kick's on its way. It looks good off the boot. No, it's drifting away, and 1 point is the result. 5 goals, 6 to Rudy Mandamaker in his debut game for the Bulldogs.
Yes, and it's been a good debut, David. 15 kicks from full forward. You can't ask for much more than that. Lynch played on quickly and got the ball over to Lunn, who in turn kicked it out long. Found Jolly running around in circles. Jolly now decides to go up the middle of the ground looking for McDonald. He got underneath it. Rowe did well to intercept that. Lost control of the ball. Now handballs back towards Harris. Picks it up, gets a long handball out. Ooh, Connolly tried to take out a player then. Templeton it was. Templeton recovers well. Now spears out a pass looking for Nichols from behind. Oh, big leap. Great mark, Nichols. Superb mark. Gee, looked like he was going to come from in front, then he slipped back behind him, and gee, used plenty of leap there, and that was a tremendous mark. Already has 4 goals. Fairly acute angle. Coming up for kick number 11. Kicks on its way, natural left footer. Umpire stands his ground. That's right through the middle. That's 5 goals now to Nichols, and Woodville move on to 24 goals 19, Central 11-15.
Yes, they've been playing very direct, the Warriors. They went forward. The big arms of Nichols. Up he went. He held on strongly to that ball and came down with it. There was some dispute by the Central District opponent as to whether he held it. In fact, he did. Went back to kick his 5th goal, and he's been one of their good forwards today since being recruited from Tasmania.
Certainly has. 21 minutes of this final quarter. Ball comes down to Harris. Harris with a quick handball to Parker. Parker pushes out a pass. He's couldn't find Nichols, couldn't hold that one. Sewer in there with a chance, being pressured by Buckley. Buckley taps it back in the direction of Nichols. Nichols gets it onto his left boot, right boot quickly. Van Dommel over the top, punts the ball out, but it's only to find Templeton. Now if he can pick this up, he's got one opponent to beat. Does it well, puts it back into the centre of the ground, and Nichols, great mark. Oh, they can do no wrong, the Warriors. And that was smart play by Templeton. He was on an impossible angle. He centred the ball, and he was lucky enough to find Nichols.
They've kicked 8 goals already this quarter, the Warriors. Stephen Nichols has 5 to date. If he can kick this will give the Warriors 9 for the quarter. Central District have only added 1 since three-quarter time. Nichols on the left foot he goes. That's right through the middle. Goal number 6 for Stephen Nichols. 2 in 2 minutes for him. And the Warriors advance to 25 goals 19, 169, leading Central District 11 goals 15, 81.
Yes, he's been a good player, Nichols. Kicked 2 in the first quarter, 2 in the second. Didn't get any in the third, but he's kicked another 2 in this final quarter. And been a very consistent player right throughout the day.
Warriors have been most impressive. You wouldn't consider that they were on the bottom before today. They've been very direct into their attack. Malcolm Blight would be very pleased. Cousins opposed to Parker again in ruck. This time it's Cousins with the tap down, goes towards Bubner. Cousins is there in support, goes again on the left foot. He's done that a number of times today, but now out with Haylock. The Warriors go back into attack. They've done all the attacking this term. Now it's Templeton. He fumbles the ball. Bubner's there, giving him some pressure. In fact, he's tackled him. Is it a free kick? Play on, says the umpire. Now with Fantasia, chips in towards centre half forward, but running through there is Buckley for Centrals. Looking for Hull. He can't get it. Steve Jackia can. Handballs off to John Martin. He's hit very heavily by Connolly. Now Flintoff. Quiet in the second half, Flintoff. Opened the game very well. Detman. 17 is Peter Krieg, and he'd be a very tired man. He's battled his heart out today for the Bulldogs. Number 4 is Detman. 47 is Rowe. Had the job of tagging Harris today. He's been shifted from him. Now Jackie, a good job in the back pocket. He's over the ball. Was he in possession? Play on, says the umpire. Rogers out to Lynch. On the left foot he goes towards the boundary line. Out there is Fuller. He's played a good game in the second half. Now it's Kevin Harris who's playing on him. They haven't been able to find him today. Bounce 1. Bounce 2. Can he line up the goal? We saw a great goal in the third term. Kicks on its way. He's lined up the goals. It's right through the middle. And that's another great goal to Kevin Harris. And that's given him 6 for the day.
Well, he did that well, Harris. The Central players didn't run towards him. They were worried he was going to pass out a short pass. He thought about it. When he saw no one was approaching him, decided to run all the way into an open goal. And he's easily been best player on the ground today. And it's a fine performance, 6 goals for a ruck rover.
Yes, Trevor Rowe wouldn't be too pleased with Kevin Harris kicking 6 goals. In fairness, he was only on him for 3. Back with Cousins. He gets the tap. Bowman back to Parker. Yet again the Warriors go into attack through Templeton. He accelerates through centre half forward. Goes goalward bound. Templeton's there. Up he goes. Nichols, in fact, it was. But the ball's out of bounds in the right forward pocket.
Just moved into time on here at Football Park in the final quarter. Been a great performance by the Warriors today. Central have tried everything, but nothing's worked. The Warriors have just been too strong. Cousins front position. Taylor tried to fist it away. Van Dommel been a quiet player today. Got out the direction of Flintoff. Parker from behind. Oh, sold the puck beautifully. Handball wasn't a good one though. Players in there, still desperate work. Bowman got the ball out towards Fantasia. Fantasia spears out a pass, but front position is Bogdell. Dropped the chest mark. Tackled by Detman. Umpire said he couldn't get rid of the ball and we'll have a bounce only 40 metres out directly in front of the Warrior goal.
26 minutes into the final term at Football Park. It's the Warriors by 74 points. The ball goes to Harris. Can he score another goal? No, he handballs it off. Nolan is there. So too is Bunga Hearn, and he pushes the ball out of play. Templeton couldn't keep it in for the Warriors. Colin McDonald suggesting that it was out of bounds on the full. Throw in to take place. Left forward pocket. Up goes Taylor. Taps the ball forward. McDonald's there. Botka. Brett Van Dommel with the player. He's handballed it out of play deliberately, and the umpire, I think, has picked it up. In fact, he has.
Yes, Van Dommel not happy, but it was definitely deliberate. And it's been a dirty day for Rene Van Dommel today, the Dogs captain. Andrew Taylor already with 4 goals. Runs around to open the face of the goal. Ball swinging back, Nichols up high. Botka takes the ball off hands. Picked up again by Nichols. Harris in there, be tackled quickly by Lee. Can't get the kick away. Now Krieg gets a quick handball. Desperate play by both sides. Ball comes back out the direction. I couldn't pick that up, David.
Jolly was the player.
Randall Jolly offline for a point. Woodville move on to 26 goals 20. Absolutely annihilating the Bulldogs. 11 goals 15.
Well, Kim, if you have a look at the oval, there's only 4 players in the Central District forward line. The rest of the play has been the Woodville side of centre. They've gone into attack only once in this final term, the Bulldogs, as Randall Jolly coming away. Back now with Detman. He keeps the ball in front of him, but he's taken it across the line. Easy as you like for the Warriors late in this game. No pressure from the Bulldog defence. They've done all the attacking and done it very easily.
Yes, it's been a great effort by the Warriors today. They've come under a lot of criticism in recent weeks, and really this is the only way to answer it with a good performance like this. Handball comes out wide to Sewer. Another long handball out the direction of Harris. He's being pressured well by Lee. Gets another one. Could it be goal number 7? It is. Oh, brilliant play by the Ruck Rover. Superb effort, Kevin Harris. Kick number 20, and gee, he had Lee right on his hammer there, but he made no mistake and banged that right through the middle. Woodville move on to 28 goals 20. Absolutely thrashing the pants off Central. 11 goals 15.
They've kicked 11 goals in this final term, the Warriors. Kevin Harris notches up his 7th. That's a great goal when you're able to grab the ball under pressure, handballed it out in front of him, picked it up and banged it through. That's his 7th. Easily the best player on the ground, Kevin Harris.
Certainly is. Cousins back in ruck opposed to Parker. Neither player getting a decisive tap away. In there working hard is Detman. Ball handballs out in the direction of Rowe. Hannum intercepts. Quick kick around his body looking for Trigg. Trigg now plays on, looking for Mandermaker. Spears out a pass only to see it intercepted by Jacquia. Mandermaker caught. Jacquia back in there. Had a good game today, Jacquia. Out to Robert Lynch. He's been quiet. Girdham can't get control. Lynch still in there. Ball comes out to Bowman. Little Robbie Bowman farmed out a handball in the direction of Detman. Now it's Jolly with a chance. Gee, there's still plenty of harassing out there. Robert Fraser tried to tap it on direction of Scott Lee, who in turn gets it out towards Bubner. He has a touch of the fumbles. Gee, it's scrambly play at the moment. Now it comes out to Lee. He's got a chance. He's about 45 metres out. Straightens up. That's a terrible kick. In fact, it's hit the point post. It's out on the full.
Well, when things are going against you, don't they finish badly? And that's the end of the game with 29.5 minutes gone. Woodville final scores 27 goals 20, 182 have defeated Central District's 11 goals 15, 81, a margin of 101 points. And look at Cowboy Neal, he doesn't look very happy. In fact, he looks downright angry. Final scores here at Football Park. Woodville 27-20 have beaten Central District 11 goals 15, and the actions come to you on 7's Big League.